Up we go, reaching for the sky. Every train, oh, never dies. On the edge, as the numbers fly. Checking the charts, midnight glory. Heartbeat thumping, another story. Green and red, flashing voices loud. Future kings standing on their throne. Checking the charts with AI. Up we go, reaching for the sky. Every train home never dies. On the edge, as the numbers fly. Checking the charts, tracking the charts. Midnight glory. Sanctuary in awe, it's blending. Mind on fire, never ending. Dreams of gold, relentless fight. Push on through the endless night. Push on through the endless night. Push on through the endless night.
Hey, howdy friends, what's up? Good morning. Hello, everybody. Type something in chat. Hello, who is here? Roll call. Everyone say hi. Everyone smash the like button while we're here. Give us some love right out the door. We do a giveaway in just a little bit for our pre-market friends. New thing we're gonna do. Morning giveaway. Happy holidays, everyone. Feeling good? Feeling refreshed? Got some stuff I'm typing up real quick. Hold on a second. I have a new indicator that I'm making right now. Actually, I had a brainstorm every night. Or over the weekend. Hold on 1 second. I'll tell you all about it. Okay, hold on, get everything all typed up here. All right, perfect, perfect, perfect. All right. Friends, hit the like button. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. Good morning. You're gonna hit that like button. Smash it again. Hit it. Hit it as many times as you can. Roll call. I like the stream. Hit them. Have a good holiday. Have a good holiday. Holiday is really good. I got a lot of crazy fun. Family stuff for like multiple days. Many parties, many events. I'm still a little hungover from Saturdays. Saturdays go out. It was pretty crazy. Great. Good morning. I just literally crawled out of bed. I didn't even brush my hair, but I guess I still look good for my part is all sideways. There we go. Perfect. I crawled out of bed. This is the clothes I slept in. Good morning, guys. All right, let's get ready to get rolling here. I'm up almost 27K on the pre-market. Let's see. Working my way back out of the hole from this last month, I guess. I was short, by the way. That short last night. Opening in between the hedge pressures on S&P, right? On this right here, I just jumped out on the short. It's a pretty simple choice. We don't technically have a short playoff on blue anymore because it's 60-40, but we still can have that option if we want, discretionarily. Nasdaq was like the same thing. Like Nasdaq was like in the middle here. We fell down in this areas here. So it was like basically right here. So Nasdaq had like essentially like went up to here, and then S&P hit that and started like selling off. I was like, you know what? Let me just take the short out of the hedge pressure. And we fell to there, and I decided, you know, hey, I'll just hold through it because S&P, and then woke up this morning, took the profit. So that's pretty good. 100K day incoming. I mean, hopefully. The only thing you care about, did I brush my teeth? I did last night. That's the most important part. Last night's all that matters. All right, you guys see how the red line thing works, right? So on NASDAQ, we have, this was my overall lower target. I held for a whole lot more, but I was kind of hoping we get it this morning. So we have a little gap fill down in here at the NASDAQ at the day we gapped up, 597 level. I think that's where it is. $597. Oh, let me refresh the platform here. Okay, so we hit both of those red lines. I'll talk about this in a little bit. Wait, this is, oh, that's right here, 597. I already have it marked. Okay, cool. These are all those old ones I had marked whenever we didn't have it. Okay, perfect. Done, and S&P might have one as well. Closer to, oh yeah, S&P's is much lower. It's gonna be 68.93. Coming already at mark 2. Okay, cool. All right. Done and done and done. Okay. These are all here, I think. This technique is those retracement levels. You can see our red lines we call 676. We call them red lines for short. They are illiquidity pivots, and y'all know the technique. I know we've been kind of crazy for the holidays on boot camp. I'll go through and revisit the class because that last one covered. If you guys needed some help on it, we're going to cover everything again today. All right, you can see how the illiquidity pivots, like the red line was one of them, and then the second one was the other. These are those rebalance points on that imbalance to the upside. can easily calculate them based on correctly identifying the anchor point, drawing your impact line for where the volatility collapses, and then you draw the run length, which closes out the imbalance for the day. And then both of these create pivots to bounce off of on the way back down. So this is the first target where I took my profit, and then there's that second target this morning. Crazy. I don't know what dropped to 747 just out of the blue here. Let's do a little quickie giveaway here. Y'all want to do a Tradeify? Sounds good to me. Hold on. In the future, being here early in the mornings, you can compete in the morning giveaway. Straight up. Let's go. Tradeify. Type that word in chat to enter. I was anticipating this to happen on Friday, actually. Or whatever. No, it wasn't Friday. It was the last time we streamed. Was it Friday? The day after Christmas? Oh, yeah, it was. It's Friday. Mark didn't do anything. I didn't do much. I didn't do anything, actually. I don't think. I remember correctly. Type in Tradeify to enter really quick. I should put it in like an old duel. Put up the word, countdown, and draw. Oh, that kind of funny. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's go. Ooh, that lower DD band, baby. I don't wish I was really blasting this hard across the board with my fund index and everything else, but that was kind of a nice little setup there. Again, like I had believed that we would still not rally into New Year with velocity. It's all hinging on the fact that, oh, another reason, Ramon Riviera, we're just doing the one to get started. Maybe two. Let's do two. How about two? Just to reward my early birds here for smashing the like button. Let's get them up really quick. Do me that favor and click it. 1 out of 2. I like it. Let's get that bad boy up to 300. Ramon, first one. We'll do uno mas. All right, 10, 9, 8. Thumbs up button, everybody. Hit it. Spin that wheel one more time. Hit is the button. There's that lower DD band. The question is, do I want to take it to the other side today? All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw! Whoops. Yeah. What? Just little goodies today. Some Tradeify growth accounts. Oscar. Ramon Rivera. Congratulations. And then Oscar M. All right. That's just the pre-market warm-up. We got plenty to give away today. You guys know the drill. Go to the contest channel in my Discord. Links in the description below the video. Send a message to Slacks or admin. Let them know that you won the account. Send a screenshot of your YouTube ID. Have an account with Tradeify already. You guys won some 50K Tradeify growth accounts. Congratulations. As always, the most giveaways on any stream. Boom. All over in Singapore. What's up? Good morning. All right. That's it. That's it for now. We'll do a little bit in a little bit. But don't forget to smash the like button, friends. We're getting ready to get started. Can you buy you some 10 ounce of gold, please? Of course, of course. All right. So illiquidity pivots. Let's talk. Let's have one of those long conversations between you, me. You know, we're friends here. Wait, where the heck did mine go? Did I delete them? No. Huh? Whoops. Well, okay. We correctly identify your anchor point, right? We teach you how to do that. You do anchor point to high, anchor point to where that volatility first expands and collapses, and then anchor point to the top or the bottom of the day. And it creates two lines, impact and round length. And impact creates the yellow line to go with it, which as long as you still have the impact line untapped, then the yellow line's still very possible. Right now, the run length is the first pivot to test, as you see on the way back down. 69.47 was your bounce point to test. Now, again, that imbalance that caused the market to go up, that buy imbalance is now met with the new sellers. Sellers and buyers meet in the middle. It's exactly what causes this pivot. 100% probability of a high volume event when you touch it. And there's your volume when you go right to it. Oh, sorry, let me kick this on screen here. Boom, bounce right there. Volume broke through it, higher volume. You see that? So these events are all volume based. Nasdaq, we had some written here, 25,741. The same thing. If you get your red lines done, you get very good at this. You find that there's a predictable volume pivot here, and when you touch it, a predictable volume pivot here. It is without a doubt one of the best techniques, one of the first techniques I ever created for trading. And it has to do with correctly identifying the starting point to measure from. It's not to be mistaken with like a 50 fib or a traditional retracement, because you're not actually doing that. You're actually identifying where an imbalance truly is, not just a move. Not every move is an imbalance. And you can do this by seeing on the charts. Now here, this whole thing didn't count, but this thing counted. From here, why is here important instead of anywhere else? And we teach you that in the boot camp, right? So this expansion of volatility before it collapsed is that measurement point to create this move here, and then you measure the second one for the run length. And there are two pivots. They're just return pivots. One of them is the initial knee-jerk reaction that caused the initial imbalance. The second one is the follow-up caused by the squeeze. And the squeeze usually happens when you bump calls in the money or something. Creates people jumping in when they don't want to jump in. So this is where they wanted to jump in. This is where they didn't want but have to jump in. And so both of those can create pivots on the way back down. And this is the perfect class, or the perfect demonstration for when we teach on that class. So with the S&P completing its move, it's got a 69.36 sort of destiny, if you may, to kind of complete the whole thing. That makes sense, hopefully. Cool. All right. Giveaway's over. When does the dealer typically come back after the holidays? I would say that for the most part, the market usually tends to pick up like the first week of the new year, like even after a week, not just like January the 1st. Let's all get back to it. It's like, and it depends on year to year, but as I know, from like my experience, I don't just, you know, when you can tell that the market's done for the year and people are kind of like tapped out, they don't necessarily return until maybe a week or so after the new year. And it depends on the environment too. This environment will probably be like that. It's going to take a little bit of time for the market to really figure out what it's want to do. This quarter 4 was really weird. There's a lot of liquidation going on. Oh, another reason that I did jump in on the short last night was because we were kind of below the bull pivot, right? On hedge pressure, we were below this this kind of, we opened below, and I saw it do this, and then it broke below, and I was like, let me get on the short here. What ended up happening on this one was right about 7 o'clock is when Nvidia, right? This is where pre-market starts for the stocks. Nvidia popped and then started dropping, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take that bet right here. So we popped and started like consolidating with the lower high, and I just was like, you know what? We're at the bottom of this line. Let me jump in and take the short, and I just slapped on it, and that was a great play. So I'm up about 27G on the Ninja account. So I'm working my way back up, making my way back up. Hopefully. All right, 1 second. We got an announcement. The prop scoring website should be ready to go by the end of January, I would say. That's my latest update on that one. Hold on 1 second. Say right now the admin UI is done, API integration still pending, aiming to have the whole app fully live by the end of January. So this is my UX manager here. New indicator I'm working on is a sort of modification to, not modification, addition to what resilience does. It's supposed to be a more, the goal is to show you the amount at which the index is lagging behind the implied value, such that as an oscillator, the example is if the oscillator on NASDAQ fell to -50, then you knew you were 50 points behind the implied value. So not only to tell you the amount or tell you the direction, but it's also to clue you in on the amount of possible lead or lag. That way you can make a decision like, you know, I don't know what we're going to call it. I gave it some stupid name called speed. I was like, let's just call it speed for beta because it's not really that. I just made up something on the spot. But the idea is that if resilience was negative and it goes positive, you know the amount at which, you know, you're leading or lagging. It's on a scale of 0 to 100. But let's translate that. How many points behind the implied value is the actual S&P? Is the NASDAQ. So if it says, it's not the number of stocks that cross, by the way, Guan. It's the market cap. So resilience is a market cap amount for the most part. And it does use that sort of implied value correlation. It just has a scale of leading or lagging in general. But what we're going to do is I'm going to create a number that says it's leading or lagging by 40 points, 30 points. So it'll let you know the opportunity is that if the market dips very quick and that scale goes up 20, you're like, oh, I can reverse scalp it for 20 points just to snap back into place. It overshot. It's gonna be like a real time, something like that. Does that make sense? Whiplash for the name, yeah. So it should be done by. I told him Jod to give me a prototype by today, but he didn't message me, so I don't know if he's done yet. But the logic is pretty simple because it piggybacks off of pretty much everything we already have for S&P and NASDAQ resilience. You already built what? You said you already built something like that? But if you recall, it's not just. It's off of our resilience code. So it takes the implied value which is calculating what the S&P and Nasdaq will be if you were to simultaneously fill all your gaps. Ignoring the stocks outside of the box, and then snapping your fingers, filling the gap, and then comparing the current value of the S&P to that implied value. And 2 minutes slow opening bell, guys. I took the short overnight. It's kind of my first big trade in probably over a week. I didn't really do much since before Christmas. We're bouncing up an impact line here. Market's opening in a couple minutes. That's a pretty brutal amount of selling here. Let's get that resilience number right when we get going here. We are opening with a gap down. Keep an eye out on what resilience says. Like I said, this I hit it slightly hard, but I don't want to do anything really big until New Year's. So, resilience is way negative, 58, negative 50. So the box itself is going to be resistance. No big trades yet. Nothing yet. So we'll wait till we get liquidity pockets. We'll see anything down in here. Liquidity maps, if there's pockets. Lower DD band is probably going to be something interacting with today, unless resilience turns around and goes higher. Just kind of taking a look what the rest of the stuff is doing. We've had kind of like a total deterioration of Nvidia overnight, gold and silver overnight. A little bit of just end of year profit taking, I'd say. VIX is starting to move a little tiny bit, but not that much, right? As we've been pulling lower, just haven't been moving too much. 823. Okay, so we have every single time LP Nasdaq. Let's play some long here. At least in my fund index. I haven't really been touching these things. So we can take EST long, one contract. Nasdaq. Negative 4.8 res. We can try one. Just keep it light. All right, I'll grab it with my fund index accounts as well. Do you think any political news will negatively affect the market today? What political news actually been sort of like drunk since Friday? So what's going on the political side today? There we go. Clean little scalp there up in the bull zone. We got resilience is actually positive 20. That's kind of nice. Hold that bull zone there. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Clean and easy. With positive res, we can actually go back up to the top here. I grabbed some 3 contract longs and 3 of my fund index accounts here. That was kind of nice. I'll take the P&L on those. Let me just take the profit on that. Let me hang on. My one baby contract here. All right, let me show you guys. Sorry about that. Let me get the screenshot of that. I'm still a moment from going live, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Put this on here as well. Sorry about that. Kind of feels like the market's back to normal, right? Like trading just seems normal again. Kind of nice. Zelensky went snow skiing. That's the mark. Yeah, it's the news, right? Gold and silver plummeting overnight. Yeah, that's kind of what you're starting to see, a little bit of rotation out of that. That's causing a little bit of turmoil in the market. Let's see. Resilience is kind of pulling back a teeny little bit in NASDAQ. So we are bouncing off of that impact line pretty good, which is always going to create a bounce, somewhat of a bounce here. Let me take the profit on that scalp. I kind of overheld that. From here to here. Now, if it goes through supports bull zone, I might be willing to take a bigger long, but I kind of want to assess the market first. That was just a knee-jerk reaction to catch the LP. Monthly hedge to hedge, which is a pretty decent support at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA can support lower lows, which would include NVIDIA. Touching MHP, NASDAQ would probably be very equivalently close to lower DD band on a drop there. AVGO. Yeah, so AVGO supporting in between the illiquidity pocket, which is interesting. This is typically resistance play off of 350, so be very careful in the bear long down that this doesn't just pop up and hit here and immediately start turning around again. So AVGO is locked into a resistance play. Apple is sort of bullish-ish, but stuck in a range. Nothing's breaking out. Amazon, same thing, nothing breaking out. Microsoft, that same thing, nothing breaking out. They all look exactly the same. Meta, same thing, nothing breaking out, stuck in the range. So we're gonna have a pretty sizable range day today. I would say that I would bet that we probably end up close to where we started over the night at best. Like we don't break out and rally from here. At best, we probably come into this area and play with MHP for a little bit. So you have a new indicator coming out tomorrow. I'm gonna kick it straight to live, by the way, instead of going through the test cycles. We're gonna play with it together and see if it works. Well, I mean, it works, but to see if it's useful and worth having. The idea is we're gonna have a numerical number for the amount of distance that the actual S&P is behind or ahead of the implied S&P, which that means, those of you that know resilience, 69.51. Those of you that know resilience understand that resilience gives you a strength gauge, right? It doesn't give you a physical amount. And it's all based on the market cap flux to the redistribution zone. So like right here with positive resilience, it means more stocks are actually in the upper side of this box than at the lower side of this box, right? So you would expect that the NASDAQ is going to catch up by ending up here somewhere like we teach you, right? So it's comparing the implied value if all the stocks fill their gaps to the actual value and giving you a scaled range from minus 100 to 100 on that strength. Minus 100 would be if every single stock is on the bottom side of the box, and you're lagging behind that, then it would go to minus 100. If resilience is positive 100 and you're lagging behind that, sorry, it means you're lagging behind that and all the stocks are at the top side of the box. But it just tells you lagging behind that or leading behind that. Above or below 0 is all that matters. The range scale just tells you more market cap is fluxing through the middle. So what I'm doing with this new indicator is to give you a number, literally a number that'll say 32, 41, 65, 8. So at any moment in time, it's going to tell you if the index has deviated from that destiny of its own distance, how much. So scalp potential. Like right now, if this moves way up here and then that speed indicator, whatever we call it, goes to negative 10, you know that this is pacing 10 points ahead of the implied value, which means it might snap back down that much. It's a magnitude indicator to let you know about how much trade you can get out of a play. So an amount, right? So that's the cool part. All right, with positive res, we're blasting back up to the middle, hitting MHP from the bottom. So we have a kind of a standstill. There's resistance on NASDAQ. There's the EST long on S&P. Boy, do I have zero desire to short this. Can I play that EST on S&P? You know me. All right. Two spot, maybe. Maybe. There's that NVIDIA, there's that NASDAQ resistance here as well, 823. Want to play, man. Very solid there. I wonder how many people are gonna how this will, I mean, this might work its way up, but it might just be volatile that first little play here. Can have that Nasdaq, maybe a quick resistance off of MHP from the bottom. Let me see if I tap it one more time. I'll take a one spot on there. Like I said, I'm just keeping it light. I'll hit it with 2 of my Fund and X accounts. One of my 2 of my Fund and X accounts. I'll do a second one. Why the hell not? Okay, MHP from the bottom, just as a test. MHP resilience is positive, so it makes it about only about like a 27% chance that it does reject and not break through. Actually, no, hold on, let me get the actual number there. I'm still a little hungover from the weekend, so I don't know the exact numbers. Guys, do me a favor, smash that like button, friends. Get ready to get started here on this day. Kind of torn between positive DD-EST and MHP rejection from the bottom. You kind of have 2 options, right? They're both viable options here. That probability of any 27% chance we break to the upside with any confluence. With the positive confluence, we expect it to be a little higher than that. I use the trailing stop. I don't believe in using trailing stops as a general principle. I don't think they're any good. Because a trailing stop is like you're arbitrarily just cutting your profits. I exit at a place. I don't exit because I'm winning. The different, like what a lot of traders do is they want to lock in profits. I don't have that mentality at all. I'm trading from a support to a resistance, and nowhere in between am I cutting out. So once I get there, I'm done. If I want to hold a runner, I hold a runner to the next resistance as well. A trailing stop, it just arbitrarily kicks you out of the trade based on whatever you do. And you have to be very accurate at setting one such that the normal chop and volatility doesn't stop you out. So like a trailing stop is kind of a difficult procedure because how far away do you trail to where it works? Well, you have to understand about how far the market is going to be volatile. And therefore you have to make sure your stop is outside of that volatility in case it keeps going up. And you're gonna have to be very, very meticulous about that amount. And so because of that, I just don't use one. I have an exit target in mind and I go straight for it. And just because a trailing stop more often than not kicks me out of a trade that I'm gonna win in because I didn't set it right. And so there's a philosophy of how should you set it, like how far behind should you trail. I've just never kind of been able to like really create some good logic on how to do one. A good question. Yeah. Price for trailing versus targets. Yeah, and each their own, right? For me, since I have targets painted all over my screen, I actually have a reward to risk. So if I'm going to take the reward, for example, here, if I'm just, trailing a short at this 800 level, I just kind of grabbed a short here. Kind of like in this range. If my trade is from here to somewhere, it's really only, like I'm only trading it to a certain area. And I mean, this kind of area is probably going to be about right, probably that same spot, the middle area. As an example, if I know where I want to get in, where I want to get out, I don't want to rob myself of it. At minimum, I take the majority of the position to my intended target, and then I'll cut out and hold a runner and let it go. The runner, I don't hold a trailing stop on it either, but I'll trim the risk out, which is the same thing as a trailing stop. You're just trimming the risk out, right? You're putting some in your pocket or putting all in your pocket. And that's what a trailing stop does. You can also trail stop a runner. So if you've got like a 10 contract position and you trail stop 5 to go with it, then it forces you to take a runner once you hit that trailing stop, and you're left with your smaller position to still let it ride. Either way, it's up to each person. So the reason I personally don't like to do it because it's hard to manage, but also is because whenever you are taking risk to take your full reward. As an example, pretend that I'm short here and I'm exiting here as an example. Okay. That's what, 80 points? And say that I want to take a 20-point stop on that, or 40-point stop. So I've already calculated it's a 2-to-1 trade. I've already done all my confluences to decide, you know, like how much I want to trade, what's my risk and all that. And when I put all that together of like piecing it all together, if I were to take a little bit out on the way down because of the trail, then I don't get the full reward. Therefore, I'm actually trading off of a reduced risk to reward. So I'm not giving myself the full ability to make what I could make. Whenever you're doing risk and reward calculations, you want to make sure you give yourself the full ability to take everything that you set up to take, or else your odds are off. So example is if I make all my decisions off of a 2-to-1 trade, yet I'm only giving myself a 1.3-to-1, then in those instances, I'm kind of like allowing myself to take the full risk, but only the partial reward. And so when you're doing that, you're actually robbing yourself in the longer haul by not going the whole way. So a lot of people are like, let me just lock in something because I got something that's green. I'm like, if I'm allowing myself to take the full risk, I better get the full reward. And it's all or nothing. I either stop at the whole thing or collect the whole thing. So I actually want to purely capture everything I set out to capture. That makes sense. My job is to trade off of preset R&R and get one or the other and not take partials. Like here, I was just scalping the middle just to like, okay, let me just play the liquidity pocket. And then it held right here and I was like, all right, take the profit. Even though I didn't get that right there, it wasn't my intended trade. So I closed the whole thing out. Now, granted, if I held a runner and also had a trailing stop, sure, I could have made a little bit more. But also in other conditions, I could have made less. And so in reality, I either go to full target or not full target. And that's kind of like my intended play here. All right, this is just that little bitty retrace off that bump up to that 766 level. Let me pocket some of that. That's all I wanted, was that kind of retrace area here on that Fund and Next account. That was just literally this little impact level here off of this run up. Oops, sorry. Snap. Come on, mouse. Go in the same spot there. All right, so that's the retrace on this one. I'll go ahead and pocket that as well. That's the trade I just described taking. That's good. I like it. Ooh, do I want a long here? I'm an MHP on S&P 51. Res is negative. Oh man, that might be the kind of bulk of the predictable move today. What do I do? Are my stops discretionary? No. So, I have a system for stopping. So my stop is typically going to be 40 points in Nasdaq and 10 points S&P behind the high volume pivot. Somebody said instead of clicking market sell, you can click trail stop from the same spot. So if it does drop, it's the same as market sell. But how much do you trail the stop? That's the question, right? Is it true that the market will go one way out of opening 5-minute bar at least 1 day per week average? I would say probably most days the market open dictates the rest of the day. Not maybe the first 5 minutes. I would say maybe on average of once a week or two, that opening 5-minute candle will probably tell you the direction of the market pretty accurately. Like it just goes up, it keeps going, or goes down and keeps going without any chop. In the first 5 minutes, I would say maybe once every week or so is a good average. But again, that, you know, that's not like every single day. The market tends to like do a lot of stuff in the first 5 minutes. So most days you're going to see the market figuring out what it's trying to do in the first 5 minutes rather than actually doing something in the first 5 minutes. But every once in a while you'll see a day where the market just jumps up and goes. trail half of $1 equity move. Yeah, like that's what I was saying earlier. Like trail stop on some of it to lock something in, but only do that until after you hit your intended target. Right. So an example is if my intended target was this red line, then I wouldn't even attempt to do that until it was at this red line and then some, and then I'd start trailing from the red line. So an example is I don't want to lose along the way to my target. If it's a true 2-to-1 trade where I'm -1 if I'm wrong and +2 if I'm right, and as soon as I hit the your right level and push through, then here from this break even, I'll let my runner run, and then yeah, I can set a trail stop to go with it, just to see how far I can stretch that. Because at that point, yeah, good point. And so I would make sure if I were to do it, I would do it down here. But the only reason I don't is because I don't know how far I'm going to allow it to like wiggle around accurately before I take my profit. Yeah, only after your target. Yeah, I agree with you, Discreet. I think it's a good approach to that. All right, now we're at SPY open with negative res. So the negative resilience on the S&P right here, it's kind of pulling us back a little bit. Well, how are we gonna do? What a day! Got the short, got the long, got the short. 3 for 3 on this. So I'm curious how I want to play the rest of this day and let the rest of this day unfold. That's the real question. Kind of sitting in the middle here. I would say that maybe to the long side today. It's a tough one. I don't know. Maybe. Nah, I don't know. Kind of lining up to be a little weird. I can't wait till this new indicator they have comes out though. It's gonna be, I want to see how useful it is at calling distances, right? It's gonna be very exciting to have that. Like how far are there moments throughout the day where S&P is leading or lagging behind its implied value? Therefore, at any point, not just against the box, you have a resilience type indication. So it says, where is MHP? The calculated one is like way off the chart down at the bottom. The overnight dynamic is 51 and 823. Yeah, with negative res, S&P, positive res, NASDAQ, it's a little kind of wishy-washy here. NASDAQ sort of has upward potential here. S&P has sort of downward potential here, but upward support on MHP positive res. So it's kind of like the indicators are all twisted in different directions today. That's the real question. Do I pop a teeny little long from here, or do we let this market die today? Let's double check what some of the major stocks are doing. Nothing's really moving. They're all still above supports, above support, above support, above support. Yeah. So maybe there's a long here. Okay. Do I want to try that long at 51? S&P res is sort of positive-ish. Like, this is a pretty solid setup, I would say, because I'm wrong small and I'm right big. So here, if this happens to go above 0 and this happens to go to there, then hell, we're good, right? With a liquidity pocket, create some pretty solid, strong moves here in the S&P. If we hold that MHP at least, which I don't think we probably will. Oh. Okay. So I'm just keeping the trades light today. At least for the morning sesh. There we go. There we go. Update my fund index for you guys real quick. Oh, man, I've been, after fucking getting my ass handed to me like half of December, feels good to finally be like back in sync with the market. I think my last like 3 or 4 trading sessions I've been in sync and doing pretty okay. It was that weird 2-week stint where everything was just breaking, like nothing was holding. Things are breaking structure, breaking confluence, just like super, super weird. Do I have decisive entry signals? Yeah, John Smith. So if you, oh, I'm sorry, you can't kind of see it on the chart. Right here, this tells me support and resistance right on the chart. So an example is off to the right, there is a guide as to which direction the flow is going. As you see where I'm highlighted right here, there is long pressure off of this blue line. Well, it's not even in the vicinity, right? So there's nothing off of this guide here. But tried and true, one of my favorite trade setups is bear zone to bull zone, called liquidity pocket, the trade I made out the door. This is one of my favorite setups here. If I expand to like the bigger thing, you can see that there's a player from here to here. So I took that play, and so the signals that I take off of the charts are based on a bunch of different things. They're all built into like this overall master sort of algo that are telling me different reasons the market moves. An example is this white line is your gap fill. So right, like concurrently, the Nasdaq is gapped down, the S&P is gapped down. And filling the gap would be tapping those white lines, right? Inside of this box, I can make decisions with this white line. This white line is greater than 0, then this is very likely to continue to try to make its way higher. That makes sense. Down in here, I've got support off of this one, support off of this one, and support off of this one. So I've got 3 different attempts for the market to make bounces as well when I get there. So I'm trading off of these indications here, yeah. S&P looking pretty solid here, actually. But I don't know. Res is not doing too much. I'm not liking it. I probably should hold on to it, but I don't really like the action I see. If we break through MHP to the other side, what I'd rather do is wait If we break through this here, the R&R is so much better to the downside. So let me wait and take the dump play in case it does dump. Kind of like the idea of taking it to the downside. MHP res is positive though, so it's gonna definitely try to hold. Do I get the downside play? 3 spot. VIX is not moving today though, so that's kind of one of the things as well. Nvidia is also at a key support. We had a red line situation going over here in Nvidia as well. Already retraced that. And we'll see. This hourly candle looking pretty gross, so I kind of feel like downside is probably the right side. Now, S&P again, it's got that support target at 47. If we lose this, from the play that I have from here is another 15 or so points. Why does it not read DD ratio, NQ, res, HPMP? Oh, yeah, I know, right? That's a good point. I put them this way because I originally put them this way for whatever reason. And then every time I change it, people hate that I change it. But you're right. This is like completely backwards for what the charts are showing. It's hilarious. Betting home sales is going to do anything? In this environment, I wouldn't think that it's going to do much. The market's sort of, you know, if it pops or anything, market's still going to kind of continue on its journey without it. So, month over month, 3.3%. That's kind of in the same range of expectation. I think like between like 1 and 3 is pretty much noisy normal. You can see how right here, that noisy normal is you know, closer to like less than 3. Like most of your data is between like 3 and 3. I'd look at outliers as being like strong signals for stuff, events and things, but I don't think it on its own really has any power today on the market. Breakdown looks unlikely. Yeah, it kind of looks unlikely, yeah. And we'll see. Hitting these red lines was kind of what I was wanting to see overnight. That was my original trade. S&P still has its impact line that's still open. That's what I'm looking for right here. Yeah, conditions are kind of improving here, so you guys are probably right. Backline, it is an imbalance rebalancing point off of a previous large move. So we had some large moves to the upside on the indices, let's like a week ago. And so we have them marked on the chart, like where those pivots will be on the way back down. It's based on that move on Tuesday last week. It's a technique that I teach in my boot camp. It's really solid. Good morning. What's up, Ascend? How's it going, man? I feel like there's a lot of people on vacation this week. We've had, I was just looking at YouTube. Everybody's numbers are low, so it's like we're about 300 people, give or take, shy. I feel like most people are just kind of taking the year to chill. It's our first time at Market Open. We've been less than 1,000 viewers in a year, almost a year. Y'all really like y'all's holidays. Screw Trade says overnight MHP is 68% close above for this last 15 days. Yeah. Yeah, it should be like we open above is a roughly 30% chance that we break, and yeah, closer to 70s that we hold. Pretty normal. You'll take a break from this trash market. Yeah, like across the board, everybody seems to be down on views. Even Pat's down on like probably 600 or 700 people off his norm. Matt's down, everyone's down. So I was looking, I was like, I wonder if there's like a new hot trader on the scene that everybody's watching them. But it seems like everybody's numbers are holiday numbers, so y'all don't hate me too much yet. It's me, Jose N. What's up? What's up? A lot of vacations. But at least you guys are here. Y'all are my friends. Y'all are the ones that matter. You're on vacation? Vacations for wimps. I'm just kidding. Right. Let's play it. Come on, short setup. Everyone went to Minnesota looking for a daycare for the kids. Yeah, what's with all these like Minnesota daycare memes? I was hearing like a bunch of jokes on social media about it while I was doom scrolling maybe 2 nights ago or last night. No, last night. What happened? Oh, Hand of God, what's up? I sent him I asked them that question. They haven't written me back yet. Hold on, let me double check. Maybe they did. No, they haven't written me back yet. Good question. I need to follow some other people. Oh, not from people I follow. You got to thank Elon for plugging up my timeline with crap I don't follow, like recommended for you crap. I say jokes. I didn't mean like people making fun of it. I said I've been seeing like memes about it. What happened? Like what happened? Like I know zero. I just know that the word is in everybody's timeline. Minnesota fraud allegations following viral daycare video. Okay. What happened? That's like what's in the news right now. What's going on? So people were masquerading as a daycare to get some kind of public funding? Some kid found like 30 daycares frauding 100 million without any kids. Oh, Somalians have been breaking the taxpayers. What I'm reading you guys say in chat. Okay. I had to catch up on the news. I've been partying like nonstop since Friday. So I didn't go to bed until like 4 in the morning last night and 3 in the morning the night before. I'm a little behind on life and news. People from Somalia, you said? Oh, wow. I need to sober up and read the news and catch up. Wow. So it's like a whole crime syndicate. Defrauding. So you can get funds for like running a daycare and you don't have to report. Nobody checks up. Like, mind blowing. That's crazy. Nobody verifies, validates, nothing. Just like Section 8 housing. Yeah. But they verify. They at least validate, validate. They verify your income and stuff for Section 8, don't they? Like they're supposed to check up on it. Somebody said, yeah. Probably getting the kickbacks. Well, yeah, I think if you're defrauding hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever, you're probably kicking back to somebody. They gotta, who knows? They gotta uncover something there. All right. Let me close that 3-spot short I had on. I'm just scalping back to pocket. Honestly, I don't know if it's gonna sell off or crash today. I'm just not feeling it too much. Let me just close out and call this one. I don't like the way the indicators aren't panning out, but that was another 3 grand on my funded next. So I still haven't. There's one of them I still haven't touched yet. Just shorted off of this red line back to there, and now I can take the long, but I'm gonna wait. Not a bad haul. These are all funded accounts, and this is the live account screen. So 40K, which is good, I guess. Better, making a dent back into the positive, into the green, which is good. You guys remember? Let's go back in time. I had one of the best years I've ever had. Probably the best year I've ever had, I would say. It feels like it's the best year. In general, best year, I would say, for business-wise, yeah. This is the best year I've had in across the board in general. Every single one of my businesses and enterprise endeavors is way up. Like way up this year. It's been crazy. Trading, I think is the best year I've had. The rally from March, yeah, so April until now, dude, the cleanest bull rally I've ever seen for such a prolonged period of time with no stopping. Half a year of just straight rallying. It's as beautiful trading. Somebody says, don't sober up before I read the news because I'm gonna need the booze. That sounds like a line from a song because it rhymes. Don't sober up before you read the news. You're gonna need the booze. So yeah, so I like, it was like month over month over month. Like I went live with Tradeify. There was like one month I did like 40 straight K or 30, 40K payouts, and then immediately went live. I just flushed them out like one after the other. And then I've taken like 300 something K, I think, from Funded Next total, and I'm still not pushed to live. They're like, they're like, we're gonna push you to live, and it still hasn't happened yet. So I think when I request my next payout, it's gonna happen. I try to make it explicitly where I got enough where I was on the edge to think they weren't gonna push me to live before everything was like solidified. And now it's solidified. I'm like, okay, my next payout is probably going to get axed and then put into their bank, and then I'll go live. So they can move you discretionarily at any time, but they haven't yet. I have a suspicion when I request my payout, I'm going to live. They're going to be like, oh yeah, let's kick this guy to live. Don't trade gold and silver? Nah, I never do. But only because I don't know enough about it, man. Like, to really... And I could say, like, I don't know enough about it because I just haven't, you know, have experience with it to, like, know what makes it move and to feel it out. When I traded oil, like, you could just trade oil by just jumping into an oil chart and start trading. But I mean, like, understanding oil, cycling through it, knowing what causes it to move, what doesn't cause it to move, what are the factors, what times of the day things happen, what are the important geopolitical forces. I don't know any of that to be sufficient enough to, like, be a good gold or silver trader. I would just be trading off the charts. Once I go live for Fun and X, can I tell you which live has been my favorite from props? They all have been equally okay, I would say. Favorite live, full transparency of the ETF, Tradeify, and My Fund and Futures. I would say that they're all so close to being exactly the same conditions. The live program in general is not my favorite because the live programs come with like contract limits, DLLs, which I think is weird. And you know, minimal balances. I would say probably the one that gave the most flexibility was probably Tradeify. The one that gave the least flexibility was ETF. But when I say most and least, they're like neck and neck. You're talking like slightly more or less. They're so similar to each other. It's almost just like splitting hairs to compare. Tradeify's, I'd say, gave me the biggest amount of fat, but again, they all had DLLs and contract limits and stuff. And they all equally suck, or they're all equally good, however you perceive it. For me, I what are you gonna do with a $23,000 account? You know what I'm saying? Like when I went live with Tradeify, that was, I think it was the amount. It's like when I started, it's $23,000 because they give you whatever payout you get, and then the rest up to 100 is the amount they give you in live. Typically a Tradeify, you're gonna get like a 20 grand account, and it's non-negotiable. The other firms I negotiated for bigger balances, and got bigger balances, which was kind of nice. But I mean, it's good if you've never been live and that's your chance of going live, but you're kind of like just shifting one set of rules for another set of rules, and it's not as easy to trade as you think. It's not just going live and you got this free money, you can start like YOLOing the account. You're kind of like still in the prop system a little bit, where there's DLLs and contract limits, which is going to limit your performance just on these arbitrary limits they set, which I don't understand, like what they're trying to preserve. You know, they should let you trade however you want. You should be able to go in there and lose it all in a trade if you want to, but they want to throttle and limit how much you can grow the account, because the DLL actually is limiting how much return you can make as well, you know, because you scale your reward to risk as a multiplier of the ratio that you're trading. So if you're trading 2-to-1 trades, you can only ever make twice as much as your DLL per day. So you can only scale at the rate of your DLL, which is kind of like a limiting factor. So I don't really like them that much. Yeah. Pocket to pocket on, dude, you know, when we're back, right? When the market's back to like not being crazy, pocket, like all day long. Like, you know, rocket scooter stuff and everything else out there sort of got beat up because of the, you know, crazy market selling we saw, where everybody was just dumping tech stocks. And now that, you know, the market's no longer in that frenzy, you know, things are back to feeling normal again, which is nice. It's making trading a little bit more straightforward and simple, at least, which is good. But yeah, remember, you know, 3 weeks ago, hit the pocket and the market would just like, it almost fell 50-50. Like shit would just, structure wasn't being honored anywhere. Yeah. Man, I am so tired. It's kind of nice because I've sort of won every trade today, which is good. I've been trading both sides, long, short, long, short. I'm really tired, you guys. I need my coffee to kick in. We are close to lower DD band on NASDAQ, and I would say that like with the setup like this, I personally wouldn't expect any support off of like pivots like that for the long run. Like if we follow the DD band, I feel like with trajectory like this, especially the first hour of the day, and that was at retracement and it immediately started selling off, anything that goes lower is probably going to stay lower for the day. So I'd be very careful trying to reverse this back up personally. If like I think that I'm going to miss out on some generational bull run from here. We're still waltzing into the close of the year, which I think is going to essentially be somewhat of a maybe muted like bearish run, not crash out, but muted, like walk lower, walk lower, walk lower, maybe 2 or 3 days. January 1st sell off, January 2nd recover, and then, you know, the first week or so maybe we're back to normal. It's all going to depend on what the tech stocks are doing. I mean, that's really where all the meat and potatoes are of this market. So I would say that, yeah, my prediction as of now is that the lack of volatility is why I say like muted, right? VIX is not moving even though we're selling off, so the market's just tracking tit for tat what the stocks are doing with no additional surprise or volatility. So the fact that VIX is not going up while we're selling off just tells me that traders have left the building, right? So that's easy to see, and we're just sort of following what the stocks are doing with no additional squeeze or no additional surprises to the market. If I had to take a guess in general where we end up, one of two things can happen. With a setup like this, it's, let's see, here's the first of the year. Okay. With a setup like this, we're either going to, like today, make our way back up to here, and then sort of like, you know, do this sort of bullshit where it's down and then up and then down and up and then flat into close. Maybe. I don't know. Let me check and see if we have news this week to give us bigger moves. If there's not any big news this week, then I wouldn't expect the market to return to normal to position for it. If there's not a lot of news, which I don't think we have much so far. Yeah, so this is really a light news week. So there's probably not enough good news for the market to position for it. So I don't think we're going to snap back up. I definitely don't think we're going to break highs. I think we're kind of stuck down here. And I think that, you know, whatever happens, we're inside of here for the day. And then tomorrow is going to be probably like the same thing. And then we finish out the new year sort of like this. Like, I think it's just like that. I don't think that we're going to, market's going to die. I don't think market's going to rally, but I think the stocks selling off last minute into the year profit taking for some of these bull plays, we're just going to cause the market to like pop and drop, but like roll slower. And I think like, you know, towards the beginning of next year is when we'll sort of base out and kind of rally further. I could say as far as this can go, this could end up around here as well by the start of next year. I'm not like trying to short, you know, try to think that it'll happen, but I think that it's possible. And I'm gonna sort of like play this environment like it's just a nice tight range. I'm not gonna fade it like there's gonna be big red candles. I don't think we're gonna finish the year off with any kind of volatility like this. I don't think that's gonna happen, or that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a lot like maybe like this more than anything. Maybe a Green Day mixing in. Let me see if I can find like, yeah, like maybe like this, right? Actually, probably maybe a lot like this. We're just gonna kind of like drift in the close, and then maybe like, you know, when we start the year out, then people are back to it and they're like, holy shit, you know, selling, you know, something like that might happen. I don't think we get big sell-off days this year. I just think without the momentum of the bull side and really no catalyst or events coming out, we're just sort of like making our way back down, making our way downtown, like sort of like muted. This is a good example of what I'm thinking. This is probably exactly what I'm thinking. Like this day makes everyone think we're going to sell off, and then tomorrow just sort of chills, and then the next day, you know, just a nice little, you know, traditional sort of gentle 3-4 day resetting probably. I don't know. What do you guys think about that theory? No volatility, so not like the market's going to just die out and dump on itself. VIX is barely moving. It's kind of at the mercy of what Nvidia is going to do in the bigger stocks. So like maybe Nvidia finishes off the year close to 170, then we would slowly like drift down a little bit. Like if this sort of does this to finish out, then we end up closer to the 25, 200 level, something like that. Clear 7K by the end of the year. I think we clear 7K probably before the end of January. At least we agree 7Ks in the horizon for sure. I don't disagree with that. My only thought about this year is that this year ends in like 1 day, 2 days. So in 2 days, we're gonna need some kind of event to get us going. And there's no real news. And it's all gonna depend on what the tax hawks are doing. So if not by Wednesday, then definitely by second week of January for sure. Is this not distribution model 1? What is distribution model 1? Explain. Are you a robot? Are you an android? Distribution model 1. Do you guys remember that subreddit that was like totally not robots? I hope you remember that one. It was like a bunch of, I don't even know, it's still a thing. Hold on. One of my favorite subreddits of all time. It's like, if y'all don't know what it is, I'll tell y'all what it is. Wickoff distribution model 1. What is that? Wickoff. Explain. So totally not robots. It was a subreddit. That was, what is Wickoff? Method. Ah, okay. Oh, candle stuff. Okay. Good question. Since I'm not a technical analyst, this is a weakness of mine. So let me look into stuff. I've never studied charting that way, so I don't know. We'll have to look into it together. Wickoff pattern. Distribution markup, markdown. Okay. You're gonna go and wick off real quick. Oh, I do like 2 or 3 times a day. Why do you think Nvidia is going to 170s? I don't think Nvidia is going to 170s. I just think that it's not really. There's not a lot going on between now and the end of the year to move Nvidia anywhere. I don't think 170s. Just if there's end of the year selling. And the reason I say if is because people are locking in their huge gains for the year to like say what they got. Now, I don't think you're going to lock in a gain to get back in like 2 days later. But there still could just be some general profit taken for tax reasons or some reason. I don't know. People do whatever. We've been sort of like in that same range for a little bit with Nvidia. And so maybe not 170. Maybe I overspoke on that, but like in the range, like still sort of here, like, and building up some momentum at New Year. Not like that momentum's going to come now because we don't have a lot going on this week to create, unless there's just some rogue news that pops out about Nvidia in general. I think that Nvidia is probably momentumless at best. Worst case scenario, it dips a little bit. Doesn't crash below that. Stays in that ballpark and then sort of like grows into the new year. I feel like that. Just like the lack of people, the lack of volatility, lack of volume is going to be lack of movement. And lack of movement in something that traditionally is trending down usually just leads to like continuing to drift lower. There hasn't been any momentum to the upside in Nvidia since like August. It's mostly been short squeeze. So since we like peaked Nvidia, I would say Nvidia peaked on its bullishness in August, and this was just like short squeeze. See that kind of hook shape here? Short covering created that. Nvidia just fell back to like target. So I mean that's where it's comfortable. The kind of bull day, and that growth sort of peaked right here, and then we just sort of some end of this year short squeezes, and ever since those 2 little tiny rallies, there really hasn't been any momentum. This was like a squeeze. This was like a squeeze. And then, of course, all the rest of the trading has just been like reverting back to that same level. And this was the first rally we've seen in a little bit. So it could just finish out there without volume, just sort of like, you know, making its way back to the middle, I guess, reverting to mean. You disbelieve that Matt does not know Wyckoff? I've never heard the word in my life, believe it or not. Make fun all you want. I never, ever, apart from volume profiles, apart from volume VWAPs and moving averages, my experience with technical analysis is almost minimal. We're almost right out the door was I rejecting most technical analysis. So I never invested any time reading it, learning about it, because I never thought it had any substance. And I know, like, your average trader is probably going to be like, oh my God, this guy sucks, what a newbie. I built my own method that's so profitable. I never even cared to learn anything else. So there's going to be a lot that I don't know about. Did you read? Do I know Mendeleev, Dmitry Mendeleev, who made the periodic table? Oh, we're buddies. We go way back. The famous Russian chemist. Yeah, that's something I do know about. But yeah, so your traditional models, I don't really know a lot about, by the way. Traditional candlestick and technical theories, I didn't really invest much time into learning. As a mathematician, patterns and noise, again, don't agree with what I'm saying, guys. I promise. This is just Matt's crazy brain talking. Patterns and noise sounded like a ridiculous concept to me. So patterns and noise was something I never believed was possible. I don't believe the stock market has patterns. I'm in the Jim Simons camp of traders. I don't think, and again, don't agree with what I'm saying. This is my wild Einstein speculation that, you know, that there were some locality issues in quantum mechanics. We talked about that last week. He's just like, I don't know. There's some holes in this and we got to figure it out. I just always had this kind of like, no trust it on the surface vibe. So I never invested much time, but it doesn't mean it's not substantial. I don't think I'm like telling you guys you're doing something wrong or dumb. I'm just that one thorn in the side of all of it that doesn't have any experience with it, because I always believed that you couldn't predict the stock market based on its history. I know Descartes, Fourier, Newton. Newton would be pretty cool to like know. I mean, you think about all the stuff that Newton did. He was like in his teens and 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like Newton's theory of gravity, inventing calculus. He's not even like 23 years old. You know what I'm saying? That's like next level super genius. Somebody said you were smart, Matt. I go around technical analysis for 10 years and wasted years. It's good for simplifying the noise in the chart data into like a more usable and readable format. That's the way I gotta say it. Example being that the market's pretty noisy, and then technical analysis tries to like clean this up a little bit and make it easier for you to make, you know, decisions, I would say. But I think people took it to the next level and try to like sell the idea that there's predictabilities to it. Like moving average, it just smooths out your price action. It just makes it smooth, less noisy, easier to make a decision. That you're not chopping around candles. You're like, you know, using sort of like a more continuous analysis method. It's using like a straighter, simpler, less jaggedy curve. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, but I never learned a lot of it. But if you're asking about the pattern, I wasn't able to find anything about the pattern to answer your question. Like in general, let's just like when I look at this, the more descriptive it is, like the more scientific it sounds. Like this looks very, what's interesting about the way that it works, right? Like if I read this, again, not making fun of it, but when I read this, I look at this and I go, wow, there's like a million definitions of something. Look at this. First of all, It's analyzing something that's doing this. I mean, look at this. This is what it's doing. I mean, it's this choppy, noisy mess. They've got like 15 different ways to explain what's going on. PSY, AR, BC, SC. What is all of this, right? Each one of these individual jags is meaningful. And I always tell myself, like, technical analysis was a far leap of logic in that same fashion. Like the scene in Beautiful Mind where Russell Crowe playing John Nash is following a bunch of pigeons around with the clipboard, throwing birdseed on the ground, and then watching them eat and trying to extract an algorithm about their patterns fighting over food. And, you know, that his colleagues, like, you know, troll him for it in a way, like, come on, man. So I always thought that this was making a lot of leaps, like that there's more structure to this than meets the eye. So like there's an AR and SOW, and you like, okay, like, what is this? A lower high, a lower low? Like the fact that it moved up 1 penny above this is substantial. That's one trader, one order. Like, who knows, right? So I always thought that a lot of this stuff was very high-tech curve fitting. Secondary test, automatic rally, last point of supply, up thrust after distribution. Signs of weakness. Lip C2. Okay. So when I look at this, like, I get a little, like, what is LPSY? Last point of supply tests. Where a rally fails to surpass earlier highs. And this is the failure of the logic. And maybe I'm the only one in the world that you know that maybe sees this, where the attempts to rally fail to surpass earlier highs. But the definition of fail to surpass is very loose. It doesn't like, the mathematician in me says, what does that mean? Fail to surpass. Like, you might say, well, it didn't break the high. So no, don't think like that. Okay, here's the high and here, and it moves to there. Yes, at this moment in time, it fails to break the highs, but it's presumptuous. It assumes that it's also able to be predicted what's going to happen next. It hasn't broken the highs yet, but the shape of this doesn't imply that it has to do that. What you're doing is reading it after the fact. Aha, it failed to break highs. Well, how do you know that as it's still rallying? It hasn't broken highs yet. It could break highs. So on the chart after the fact, you could say, yeah, look, it failed to break highs and found lower lows. That's my argument with technical analysis. It's presumptuous. Mathematician in me is trying to figure out a way to explain this. Does this make sense to everybody here? It's presumptuous. It presumes that it knows what's going to happen next. It only failed to break highs when you're looking at it from this point in time backwards. Oh, yeah, it failed to break highs. So the presumption in real time is that, could you have known that in real time? So chat, does that make sense? That's my whole argument with technical analysis. That it's presumptuous in that what you see on the chart after the fact is something that you can predict during the moment. And that's my argument with it. When I say that it only failed to break highs from this moment in time, in this moment in time, in this moment in time. Yeah, I can see that. At this moment in time, how do you know? It hasn't broken highs yet. But at any given time, it hasn't broken highs. Here, this same exact example. It didn't break highs. And at this moment in time, it was even lower lows. So one would assume that that's the same look as this. It didn't break highs and it's lower lows. Okay. Sorry, it's lower highs and didn't break highs. And now it's coming down. So therefore, because it's doing this, it's failed to break highs. Let me take the trade down. And yet it breaks up here. Even this represents the unpredictability of, in hindsight, magic that comes with charting. That makes sense. A lot of TA fears are trigger. So I'm saying is that the logic is at the moment in time, how do you know what's going to happen, right? Lower lows, fail to break highs, fell to even lower lows. Okay. Lower lows failure to break highs, then it went up. Even here shows the coin flipping nature of the same pattern. I mean, like, so when I see that, that's all I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with it, but it only is good after the fact of analyzing what happened. It's not like in the moment what's going to happen, because the same exact pattern here went down and the same exact pattern here went up. If I were to scratch everything off the chart, right? Right? Scratch everything off the chart. Like I maybe that's just like me, is like, that's how I see it. Oops. And so in general, my question to you guys is, and again, I'm just assume I'm wrong. And I don't know what I'm talking about. But this is why I have never put a lot of like models into like okay. Does this not look exactly the same? Higher highs, lower highs, higher highs, lower highs, lower lows, lower lows. All the pieces in my brain are there, right? And so the presumption, the word is very strong in the way to describe this, okay? A presumption is where you like you take a fact, or you take not a fact, you take you accept something as true or factual, although it's not known to be certain. In a way, it's in certain contexts is perceived as like an arrogant approach to something. It's like it's true because I say it's true, presumptuous in that particular sense, is that without the evidence to support the future direction. So this moment in time, is this predictable to a degree as which way it goes? And so is this one. Like the points are there, lower highs, lower highs, lower lows, traditional sense. The market failed to break highs, rejected, failed to break highs, rejected. And yet in this one, it goes higher, and in this one, it goes lower. I look at this and I say, it doesn't have predictability on itself. The previous shape can't forecast the next move. And when I always tell people like why I believe that's 100% true is because over here, you have millions of independent actors acting on their own individual motivations and not collaborating with each other. I would argue that people, when they're dumping a position, aren't universally dumping it based on some universal model. They're probably dumping it for reasons of their own desire to hold the stock or not, based on the boss saying sell it today. And the guy's like, okay, sell 80% of what we have today. Get the best price you can. And the trader is like, okay, all right, consider it done. I'll dump all day. Boss is like, yep, we're going to close out our books. We made 80% this year. Let's close out the books, take the money on the side. We're going to move a lot of that over into these assets in the first quarter. So do your best to get out as much of it you can today. And then the trader's like, cool. All right, I'm on it, boss. We'll liquidate as much as we can. We'll try to sneak in as quick as we can. And so when I look at it that way, I say that, okay, that's the motivation of big players. Boss tells the trader to do something, trader does something. The bigger decisions are made in a more stupid fashion. Let's give credit to you guys as TA traders. You're not being stupid. You're just being too smart when you can't be smart about something. It's like, which way is this bird gonna fly, left or right? I've seen the bird flying this way, and the pattern is the bird went down and up and down, and so the bird's gonna continue on the same trajectory. No, the bird went completely random direction. Well, why? Well, the bird saw a worm at that moment in time. You couldn't have predicted that. It had nothing to do with what the bird did before. The bird just moves independently based on which you've correlated its current trajectory based on its past data. The presumption is that the bird has no new independently acting variables different from its past. And the fact is it's not true because the boss comes in and says, hey, just sell the stock. And so that's the worm on the ground. And the stock just goes a completely different direction because some human made a dumb decision. And technical analysis is you guys trying to be smart when the world is dumb. So you're not the dumb one, the world is dumb. You're just trying to be too smart when it's not wise to be smart. That makes sense? That sounds weird when I phrase it that way, but that's really what it is. TA traders are trying to be too smart about it, to the detriment of the presumption is that you somehow have a magical ability to predict the future. And when you look in the mirror and tell yourself that, then you start to feel dumb. And you're like, oh yeah, I am kind of making that assumption that the bird that does this is always going to do that. Nothing's ever going to change his mind. Ever. Ever, ever. No new variables can enter this system. It's not wise to be smart. So TA, you're trying to be too smart, which is great that you're trying to be smart. I can't knock you if you're trying to be smart. There's a point where you can't assume that no new variables enter this. The presumption is that you're assuming that what's presumptuous is that you're assuming something's factual without evidence, number one. And the assumption you're making that's leading to the presumption is that things stay the same. And what happened previously has an indication of what happens before. What happens next? Sorry. I'm so tired right now. I'm still very hungover. And because of that, TA fails to do what you want it to do. It doesn't fail on what it's good at, which is describing the past. It just fails on what you want it to do, which is predict the future. That would be a good reel, huh? That's what I feel. It's really, really good at describing why something has happened with like organizing the chaos into some describable means. You know, and then the years have created, you know, your trading guru is like, nah, bruh, you can use this to predict the future. We can? Yeah, bro, look at my Lambo. Okay. Okay. Sweet, yeah, we can predict the future. Somebody's boss said, no, that doesn't change. No, never changes. Squiggly lines, just it says going down, it's going down. Yeah, but JP Morgan just said they're gonna buy every share of Nvidia they can today. Oh, squiggly line point down. Yeah, but there's like many tens of billions of dollars about to go long and say no. They're not gonna do it. The pattern says they won't. Yeah, but they want the stock. They literally on TV and said, we want the stock. No, that doesn't happen. There's a pattern. So we're seeing the amalgamation of tens and thousands of people in real time doing independent things with tons of worms that the bird pivots to go chase after. Our human ability is to see a pattern. We're programmed to see faces and stuff, to recognize your mom's face when you're a baby. You know, your brain is a pattern recognizing machine, superior to most AI. You look at something and you try to organize it in a way. It's how your brain thinks. It recognizes things. It's patterns. It looks for them when they're not there. Pareidolia? I always say that word wrong. Pareidolia? Fucking Google that shit. Pareidolia? Y'all know the word. Tendency to impose a meaningful interpretation on a nebulous stimulus. Usually visual, so one that detects an object, pattern, or meaning when there is none. Like the man in the moon. That's what this one right here. That's definitely a face. Kind of thing. Squiggly go down. Savage. TA is great at observing like what's happened, but I would argue in general that a coin flip on predictability is the result. The TA can be used to organize your trades. Yes, it can be used to see ranges. So how far of a stop you'll use. Where's your reward? Where's your risk? You can frame your trade that way perfectly. These patterns will allow you to see, okay, here's a high, here's a low. That's about what the market's moving on. So, you know, you're not making unrealistic expectations, which TA is useful for. Like if I'm going to short the market from here and it breaks these lows, then it's probably going to go lower. Okay, that's a great thought. I agree with you, right? Here, it's probably going to go lower. So the next level. Okay, so finding lower lows can typically mean even further lower lows, and therefore I can utilize this to plan a trade. Like I can say, okay, I want to short this to the next support. I can get all the way down to 36. If we break a key low, then it's going to go there and I can hold for longer. Then I have an expectation of like reasonably of like where the market can go based on some TA. And that's not wrong. But the idea is that in the moment, it doesn't predict that it will happen. It just means I'm going to bet that it does happen. And so without trying to be presumptuous about it. So if I were like, you know, the market is lower highs and I were to buy the dip from here, I would still have that same mentality of, well, nothing's changed. So lower highs probably still. So I wouldn't take the long if I were taking a long, which I'm not, to bet that it just spontaneously erupts out of nowhere on a holiday week, right? So I can use TA to have realistic expectations as to the local history of the chart, local, like recent memory, to kind of understand people's current appetite. And then the assumption you can make is that nothing changes between now and when I execute my trade, that will probably stay on the same trajectory. And then at that point, there's some strength to it. But the individual pivots and noise and predictability is not really there. But in general, now I'm flat right now. I've made my trades this morning, just waiting. I'd still be short if I was trading though. Most of my trades today were short with the exception of a couple long scalps. I think I scalped this a couple times and shorted off of that twice. Shorted last night and then shorted this one. That's pretty good. These are all funded accounts, by the way. So I'm eating into shit. I must have lost what, 150K that 1 week? Probably more. No, because I was down 75 that one day. That big day. Maybe even more than 75. I forgot how much I was down. Maybe 60. 75? I remember putting 75K into the account. I think I lost like 150 that week. So I'm denting back into it. Yeah, so Peachy is bringing up something. You have to learn to read volume. Right, volume is a better indicator of the market, I would say, than price. You're kind of leaning in the right direction if you say the word volume, into what I believe. Facts left by sellers and buyers. Ah, yeah, footprints in the snow, right? So the question becomes, you see the tracks in the snow, but does that mean more people will walk in those tracks? The person that made those trades have since come and gone. If that was the boss saying sell everything you have, and that volume is that trader selling everything they have, does that, the presumption is that this concludes that other people will take the same footprints in the snow and deny their own individual motivations to buy or sell something. They're only motivated because someone else did. And then you have to ask yourself, when you're running a business, because your neighbor adds oysters to the menu, does that mean you will? And then you ask yourself, what's the odds that you can predict that because one restaurant in a block adds oysters to the menu, that all of them will? And that becomes my whole argument with the TA camp of things, is that it can predict that some people might, because they see that this business is added and it's doing well. But Taco Bell will never add oysters to the menu. Thank God, right? Everything else will make you sick. That'll make you double sick. Some people, it's a hard no no matter what. Some people, it's a maybe, right? The real answer is that it can imply that other people will walk in the same footprints. And I agree with you. Volume is more of a readable thing. Volume can be a substantial imprint on the market up to like bigger danger signs. People getting squeezed when they don't want to sell, which I think is where things are predictable and where Roxy steps in. You can't predict that people are gonna do something, but you can predict that the likelihood of them doing it goes way up if there's a devastating thing that's happening, like a support structure being broken and people being kicked out of trades they don't want to trade. Now they're all unified with the same motivation. Shit, I'm forced to close. I didn't want to, but I have to. I'm a margin call. So when volume can line up those motivations pretty quick, where people are all getting squeezed at the same time. Yeah. In a normal structured market, when no one's getting squeezed, it's gonna be completely random and noisy. But say, like, for instance, we break hedge pressure monthly and the market starts to like pick up a lot of volume, you're forcing sellers to trade exactly there as well, who otherwise have no opinion on the market. So an example, like algorithms that are chasing gamma and delta, we're going to force to sell at a certain spot, which is going to evoke. So an action can evoke further action that is predictable. So chain reaction, right? People that didn't have an opinion before, they didn't want to sell, they didn't want to buy, they didn't want to do anything. They're just systematic. And then, so volume can sort of lean you into that direction of higher probability things are doing something. You break monthly hedge pressure, you can damn sure that there's going to be large red candles on the other side of it. And even S&P today is showing you that very thing. Once you break through it, there's volume because people are now getting squeezed out of it. And volume, people getting squeezed out of it. And volume, people getting squeezed out of it. So, each one of these failed, however, to predict the further direction, but in a local sense, that action completely showed that there is some kind of follow-up action to it, which itself can be exploited in a trade. Trading to next support on that event is usually what we teach. That's a higher likelihood that selling from here will evoke further selling to there. And it's a higher odd. It just doesn't predict that would happen. It certainly doesn't predict that breaking through here falls to there either. It obviously fell to here, and then there were more buyers and sellers, which is traditionally the mechanism for market movement anyways. It's just very simple supply and demand imbalances. I agree with you guys. Like when you start talking about volume, you make more sense. Physics does that all the time. Constraints are presumed in many equations when learning. Well, right. And a lot of times those constraints are like, you know, placeholders or unproven postulates or something, you know, something assumed to be true because we can't disprove it. And therefore, and the math only works with it in the equation. There's a lot of physics and math has been like that. You got to have a constant in the middle of it to make the math work, but that constant applies in every application. So you're like, okay, can't explain it, but there's a variable, or sorry, a constant, and once you plug in, the math works out. And so you have an assumption that your thing is based on that assumption, and then down the road you hope to prove it. Yeah, we do it all the time in science. Like Planck's constant, like any piece of information smaller than a Planck length will follow the fabric of the universe. How do we even know that? Can we even see that shit? No, but it's so small that quantum mechanics take over, and it falls out of the math of general specific relativity, and you get these weird quantum effects and things that small. And you know, we just assume that everything of substance in this universe is bigger than that. Can we even? What happens if? Where's the information go? I thought we can't create or destroy matter. Well, it doesn't exist if it's smaller than that in a measurable state. Does it go away? We don't know. Well, we assume you can't destroy matter. What if you do? What if it vaporizes in the greater scheme of things? Well, then the laws of thermodynamics say you know entropy has to go up. So the information will be passed on to somewhere. For that information to disappear in this universe, it's got to increase the entropy somewhere else. Well, then maybe there's a universe beyond this universe, a megaverse. We're law of, you know, and so you make these leaps, right? But we just know something's true because the math lines up. And yeah, what am I talking about? Yeah, exactly right. Something that's like he was just on the what he was saying about how physics makes assumptions that you can't really prove or see. Just, yeah, a big circular reference. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. 100%, right? It has to make assumptions on what you observe and things like that. But the main focus is that price action can't predict future price action. Volume can predict a whole lot of stuff. Like if there's volume somewhere when in the moment in time, wow, volume's coming through. That's kind of weird. Well, there's something going on and that's it. But a big candle doesn't mean something's going on. Big price candle. Big price candle can just be one buyer and no sellers. Two people. Or one person. But when the average volume is 1,000 contracts per minute and you get 40,000 contracts, you can certainly assume something's going on with a lot of people. And when you have more people doing something, then there's more of a trend. Yeah. You have to do DMT to like unlock the rest of this conversation. Yeah, to get the DLC for the combo. Exactly. Boot camp again today, yeah. Gold and silver dropping because people are transitioning into daycares. I think that's see, I'm saying when I told you guys earlier I saw a lot of memes about daycares, I didn't know what was going on in the news because I wasn't paying attention. But that was stuff like that. Like people were saying like, I think I'm gonna open a daycare tomorrow. And I was like, I didn't learn until this morning what's going on. Boomer said something that makes sense. In its purest and simplest sense, what we know is the base of a shock wave. It creates other things we observe after the fact. Base of launch pad candle is expectation of high volume. There you go. So like the answer is when you smash two particles together, right, in a particle accelerator, fucking knock out all those valence quarks and they spit all over the place. And you're like, aha, when we smash something, here are the pieces. And like our yellow lines and red lines are the pieces that are imprinted or left after you like smack the moves really quick or something. You're left with like all this residual effect after the fact. Yeah. I should invest my real estate into daycare, somebody said. Yeah. Someone says prefer Occam's razor when trading, simpler the better. Yeah, like most of my understanding of the way I approach anything in game theory. So trading is game theory, right? And it's in its most simple form. Game theory is the mathematics of a competitive game where one person wins at the expense of another person losing, right? So when you start like studying game theory, it's like the mathematics of like the strategic interactions between people that are trying to beat each other in a game. So like usually, you know, the main component is the zero-sum game where one person that loses or one person that wins is equal and opposite to the magnitude of what someone loses. So it's like tit for tat. And in that particular approach, the entire stock market is a game. It's in the constraints of it are described by many of the mathematics of like traditional game theory. Yeah. And in game theory, the simplest explanation is usually the most accurate answer. In many instances, people's motivations to do something are pretty straightforward. Example would be a chess player makes a move, and every professional chess player that watches them knows the direction they're going to go. Even though there's creativity and people that play chess can do something. You always watch, like I love watching these videos where it's like Magnus Carlsen is watching somebody play and then somebody makes a move and Magnus goes like he already can see 40 steps ahead of that move, like that guy just fucked up. Right? while there is infinite freedom and creativity of what that person can do next, in general sense, everyone kind of like works in the most simplest fashion, protecting their pieces and setting up for the next move and stuff. So you can see somebody's motivations on the surface, and Occam's razor is pretty important to like chess. People are going to do traditionally the expected, easy to understand thing. And any creativity they take, you know the next steps just because you understand the game that you're playing. And trading, that's still the same thing, but the simplest explanation is usually the most correct one, and that this market's just a noisy fucking clusterfuck of randomness. Now I'm gonna drive myself crazy trying to prove otherwise. You try to tell people that this is like a video game? It kind of is, right? Speaking of video game, you ever see when they shine a laser through DMT crystals, what happens? Like the universe opens up or something? Let me tell you something about video games. For this weekend, for the first time since pretty much launch day, I loaded up Call of Duty Black Ops 7 again, and I don't know why I did it. I was just feeling like I was crushing Battlefield, you know, all week. Pretty much doing almost, you know, all the challenges, knocking them all out, and I was like, you know, I want to jump in Call of Duty. They didn't open up ranked yet for multiplayer. I was like, let me give it another shot. Maybe it's better. Loaded it up. The game is still ass. It's horrible. It's so clunky. Like, the slide mechanic is so slow. Like, at least in Black Ops 7, when you would run and slide, you were like running, sliding. It was so nice. This one is like run, and you like take an extra step, then you slide. You can't even like slide jump anymore. It's so different. It's horrible. I hate it. Why they decide to make the game clunkier and like less fluid? I don't know. Horrible. Anyways, simplest explanation of that game is still ass. There's Occam's razor there. Don't play it. It's horrible. All right, I think I'm kind of done for the day trading. I don't really think there's much else I want to do. I think I got to go on my other job today. My funded TV. Yep, they're streaming. So I guess I still got to be here for that. Did I hear about Vince Sampanella passing away? Yeah, dude. That was nuts. I saw a video, man. That video was gnarly. Tech analysis in real estate is pretty easy. That real estate prices will rise or stay the same level or decline from a real estate broker. I got an argument with our broker, and they were explaining like interest rates and how they thought interest rates are going to go up. And I was like, can you teach me like the factors that go into it? And she's like, I kind of don't know those myself. And I was like, but you just told me it's going to go up. Like, why would you say that? Can you give me the data that goes into that conclusion? And she was like, well, I mean, I'll have to go research it myself. And I'm like, oh, why are you telling people that? You're saying that so you scare me into buying a house sooner rather than later? Well, no, I would never do that. I mean, that's just what, and I'm just like, so your boss told you just that's what's going on? And yeah, well, that's just kind of the general opinion around here. Well, who knows? Who made that decision around here? I could talk to them and get some answers. She got really angry. Presuming that, like, I was going to go tell her boss or something. She wasn't that smart. No, I wasn't. I just wanted somebody to teach me, like, how they come to that conclusion. See, this, like, my thought is I don't trust people's math. I want to, just give me the data. I'll do it myself. Giveaway done? Not yet. Not yet. Boot camp starts. We haven't set a new date. We're still in the middle of the old one. We still got boot camp today, by the way. Get my electrolytes for recovery. Dude, I'm still fucking hungover. I'm at Clevin like every night. It's crazy. Was fun. Birthdays, holiday parties. Giveaway, just be here. Any Kwanzaa parties? No Kwanzaa parties. I've never been to one. Bet you Kwanzaa parties are epic though. Which I'm very festive. Just your standard run-of-the-mill holiday parties. Christmassy sort of things I went to. I'm not invited. Dang it. Now you're getting the daycare fiasco show up on your feed. Now you're talking about it. Your phone heard you say it. Now it's coming for good. So I've done today. I think I'm kind of chilling for the day. I still feel like down's the play. Think of what did I make? 6, 11, 12, 28. So I made 40K, which is nice. That's knocking into the deficit of I was down like 150K 2 weeks ago. I think that's how much I lost that week. Which not bad. I mean, because I was, I made 5 times that the month before, so pretty good. But nah, that December wasn't so great to me. December was kind of beating my ass a little bit. But now we're back. At least back up a little bit. We can still do liquidity pocket trades. Resilience is starting to like deteriorate a lot faster, and we are below the box, and we're below MHP for like the 5th time in a row. And this might be the flush point of this, and I think that we might be still building some momentum to the south side. I kind of was like feeling that I wanted to short here, but we're in like this sort of like, sort of not so tradable zone. Hopefully this new indicator that I put together will come out today. Tonight I can play with it. So I created another indicator, and it's so funny because I got home. I went to a wedding. Oh, I went to a wedding also. That's another thing I went to. On Saturday, I went to a wedding. Yeah, we're doing shots and whatever. And I'm sitting there at the table just like staring off into space, envisioning my next thing. I was like, it'd be kind of neat is if I knew how far the S&P was from its implied value in a numerical form. Yeah, resilience is negative, but what if they came with this negative resilience of the strength of the market cap flux? And I look at that and I go, okay, we're lagging behind it, but by how many points? 75 points, 40 points, 30 points. And then I had a number that went with resilience that told me how far the move likely is to snap back into place. An example would be like here, if resilience was negative and S&P is going up and resilience went negative, and then you had a number that said 14. Like, oh, it's down by 14 points. Maybe I can make a scalp to make up that distance of 14 points, 1.4 to 1 trade for 10 point stop. So that's the idea I had. So I got home from the wedding. Like in the car ride home, I was like doing the math in my head, and immediately when I got home, I was writing code. I was drunk on tequila and just sitting here like whipped it up. Coded it in about an hour. Kicked it to one of my developers, and I was like, hey, can you turn this into an indicator by Monday morning so I can have it to play with? He's like, I'll try my best. I'm like, the logic's pretty straightforward. I did it for you. Just translate it over the server code. And I was like, don't even go to test server. Just go to production. That way we can all play with it live on the stream on Monday. Way to do it. You need to stop with the boot camp and start with the next. Do you need to let someone know? You can just hang around, and when we start back up and jump back into it. If you need to cancel it, just cancel it and come back whenever you need to. Somebody to teach you how to Dougie. Unfortunately, as the years have gone by, I've still never learned how to Dougie. Have I heard about the Tenacity trading firm? It's supposed to kick off in a few days. Everybody is asking me about that. I've got a bunch of messages about it. I don't know anything about it. It's a new prop firm, right? Do you guys have a Twitter account or a link for that? Can you somebody drop in chat like the Twitter account? People have been talking about it. Or like a Twitter account of like the owner, the CEO or something. I've been trading for 15 years. This is the 15th year. After a few drinks, you're babbling. Matt turned into Stephen Hawking. I tend to become professor sometimes after drinking. It has $100 static accounts. Pretty nice. Tenacity trading. Somebody sent me a DM about it on Discord, and somebody sent me a message about it on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it again. Y'all, somebody I can follow from that group. I've got so many messages. I don't remember where it is. I don't remember who sent it to me. In other news, my garden just got $100 million richer. So my Christmas present came just on time in the mail. So now I can absolutely like have a grand old time when I'm outside of my garden. I'm growing ram your garden. No, 100%. So yeah, it's coming kind of nice. The tunic's a great touch. Yeah, so that turned out pretty good. Although the hair is a little brown, I feel like yours truly, our friend, has more of a grayish tone at this day and age. That the pattern was after a more flattering younger photo of him that showed him less gray, I guess, more younger. So I've preserved his legacy from his youth, when he was arguably a little more handsome. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he'd be proud. Are MHPs broken rock scooter? Why are they outside DD bands? Sometimes they'll just be, no, they're not broken. That's what they are. They've calculated to be that. That's just what they are. Give it a year outside, it'll look more like him. Yeah. So anyways, that happened in that news. So hopefully tomorrow, maybe tonight, because the logic was really straightforward. It was ripping the resilience logic. We already have the framework for all of the calcs. I just was like, add these lines of code to the resilience indicator and then make a separate indicator. Just the number. I like to see in real time a number that tells me how far away we've deviated. That way, if like, you know, all the stocks are moving this way and the implied value could be there, and the S&P hasn't moved yet, and they could say the S&P has the potential to move 17 points to catch up. So in real time, you kind of have this like, okay, there's a possibility of us moving. And I'm only using, of a certain distance, I'm only using the redistribution zone logic to do that. So just to see if it's worth at any point in time, not just at like resilience is positive or negative at any point on the map. It's more like S&P is down here away from the box, and then that number is positive 20. And it's the pure arbitrage indicator of value between the S&P and its implied value. So it can tell you at any point. It's almost like a resilience that you can use anywhere. That was my sort of brainstorm. Did I tag Lance? No, I didn't post it yet. I didn't post it. I just posted it for you guys. Twitter lately has become a cesspool of morons, brokies, wannabe traders, losers. Like it's to me, I feel like, you know, every single day, you just these like scrounging kids desperate to make a couple bucks, yelling, clawing at each other over stuff. Me with Lance was just a joke that we took too far with this garden gnome thing. It's funny to us, but what I'm gonna do is like create another social media load of bullshit. People making podcasts about Matt's latest drama with like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these people do anything but fucking trade and make money trading. Like, I make a fortune trading. Rips make a fortune trading. Pat makes fortune trading. Most people out there make dick trading, but they make some money talking about traders that are trading. So like, would I be like, do I want to star in a bunch of other people's podcasts again? Latest drama. Matt makes a Garno with Lance. Lance strikes back. Twitter goes in a frenzy. I'm just like, look, I'm kind of in the mode now. I'm gonna stay in my own lane and trade. I found out that there are more failures out there in this industry than I ever thought possible. I only believe with my whole heart that the traders you may or may not know streaming on social media and on Twitter, that fucking 5 of them are profitable, if that at all. And so I'm like, you know, everyone else is upset because they're not rolling in dough like the good ones are. And I'm just gonna, 2026 is the year of I'm just gonna fucking kill it and trade well and just fuck everyone else kind of thing. And we'll have our own jokes with each other, but yeah. Anyway, I can reach out to Apex and ask them why they're making you submit screenshots when you follow the rules. No, I'm not gonna do that. Just submit the screenshots. Like, start to imagine this, right? I don't think that's unbearable. Just show them your trades, and if you're okay, then you're okay. Remember, they're paying you free money to paper trade, so at minimum, you might have to jump over a hurdle or two. Just jump over the hurdle. Yeah, so Mike, I know I'm on your side. I love you, bro. But think about how the evolution. I've been speaking for this for weeks. Prop firms are evolving. Get used to that as being the norm. They're all sort of like tightening up. 2026 is gonna be a weird year for props. It's gonna be growing pains for you guys as traders. I know what's coming on the pipeline. Things are gonna be a little different. I can ask them why they're asking you to submit screenshots. The only reason I'm not is because they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna change anything. They're not gonna, oh, well, let's just trust Matt's word and give this guy his payout. I promise they're gonna tell me to fuck off in the most kind way possible. So I'd rather not pull the strings on something like that. That's a sense of urgency. If they're denying your payouts or being unfair to you, okay, right? But if they ask you to submit a screenshot or two, just mark up your charts and send it. You get paid money to paper trade. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to. You might have to jump over a tiny hurdle or two. That's just a small annoyance. But tell me if they fuck with your payout. Then I'll raise a stink. I promise. Can they look at your trade history? No, maybe, right? I don't know why they're not. You're right. I think what the firms that do that do is they're just making sure that you're really you and you have a strategy and that you're not like proxy, you know, someone else pretending to be you. Like I said, I don't know the motivation, but in reality, if you did everything right by the book and you show them your strategy, then they'll just give you the money, right? These days, all the prop firms are going to change so drastically this year. I feel like people are projecting 2 or 3 years out. I feel like this year a lot of things are going to change very rapidly. You're going to see the great mass prop die off of 2026, where 75% of the prop firms out there are going to diminish to nothing, if not fall to zero. Like the affiliate with the 30, 40 codes, that will die in 2026. It's already dying right now. Major firms like My Funded Futures and Funded Next and Apex are already canceling the codes of most of your Twitter influencers because they don't like the idea of them. It's bad for business. So already, you know, the folks out there promoting the legions of firms, it's going to start slowing down. And the ones that are surviving are going to start tightening their rules, right? So the new form of stuff is that hopefully things become more streamlined in this kind of weird transitional environment, especially with Apex. They're one of the stricter ones when it comes to, you know, verifying that you were legit. But as I've heard, as long as you just do it, they're going to probably just give you the payout. In 2026, though, a lot of things are going to change. Most of these small firms are going to disappear. Most of the influencers are going to disappear, or maybe become small and just promote the small firms that still have affiliate programs or whatever. But the golden age of props has ended. It ended earlier this year. We're now entering what I call the silver age of props, which is a brand new environment where the silver age of props is where the top 10 prop firms become 80% of the market share. And they all become standardized to where they're all pretty much offering the same products, if not similar. They all have a rapid, they all have a straight to funded, they all have a end of the day, they all have a static, they all have the same product lines. The weird sort of like new approaches are going to stop. You're not going to see a radical firm enter the picture with new stuff that's drastically different. Every new firm that enters with the loss leader campaign will be revealed within months and then fall apart. So that sort of like equilibrium we're going to meet in the silver age of props is like, you know, less than half the influencers you've seen before. Only the top 10 firms will survive. The top 10 firms are going to create tons and tons of new products that are very similar to each other. The way I describe it is like the golden age of sodas, right? When every like soda company had like millions of flavors. We've got grapefruit, we've got watermelon, we've got sugarcane, we've got, and then like, you know, so many years later from the 1800s when sodas were like invented, everyone has a Coke, a Dr. Pepper, a lemon, lime, and orange, and a root beer. You know, it's like Pepsi has all of those, Coke has all of them, Dr. Pepper has all, like everyone has like the same 5 sort of products that taste slightly different. That's the silver age of prop. So we're going to enter that very quickly in 2026. And then the bronze age is when regulation steps in a couple years, and sim funded sort of just drastically changes and live programs take over as the main driving force of sales for prop firms, I guess. Silver age is going to be a little different. Prop firms are going to start tightening their rules. You're not going to see like crazy offerings anymore. Too good to be true stuff. Massive influencer promotions. All that stuff's going to fizzle out this year. Kind of sucks. They want to see if you're copy trading. What are they saying? Oh, somebody said, here goes Matt acting like sending a screenshot is copacetic. Oh, Matt, stop acting like things are legit because you're partnered with the CrapX firm. I'm not partnered with anybody, BF. Shut the fuck up. This is what I'm saying. Like, don't be stupid here either. I'm not partnered with anybody. Apex and I are not in partnership. Y'all say the weirdest stuff. It'd be illegal for me to tell you otherwise, for sure. Apart from being an affiliate, that's where my loyalties lie, with you guys. They're not paying me to say anything. They're not paying me a salary. Like all the changes that happened this year with like Project X and all these crazy things, and the way that the prop firms that are really solid and really thriving are gonna take over more market share. I mean, just in the last three months alone, we've seen Funded Next loss leader campaign come to an end. We saw Funding Ticks loss leader campaign come to an end, and we saw Top Step fall apart. I mean, like this is like ushering in what I call the silver age, you know, where everything's gonna change. It's just happening. We have to kind of embrace it. You know what I mean? We can't just kind of keep wishing things are like the golden era of props, which is like 2021, 2022 after COVID, $1 million payouts with every firm, free money, paper trading. I mean, you know, come on guys. I like, that had to come to an end at some, a slow, not an end, but like a slowdown at some point. Firms can't just like lose money forever in a loss leader campaign. In the golden era, it was like, yes, I paper trade and get paid millions of dollars. In the silver era, it's going to be like, I can't believe I get paid to paper trade. This is crazy. Which is what it always was before the golden age, which was like when I wasn't in props and I looked at people, I was like, people get paid to paper trade? Well, that's ridiculous. There's no way that's going to last. But we embraced it and it was great while it lasted, but things are going to start sort of like solidifying into like this normal setup with firms. If Apex or other firms want you to like prove your trades, well, I mean, what do you know, the point is that annoying? Well, yeah, I mean, but then again, can we step back to like pre-golden age trading props and say, you know what, I'm getting, because I've had a change of heart because I know all the firms are about to start doing this kind of stuff. And the reason why is because they have to sort of, people in the last 5 years have learned how to cheat the shit out of the system. So prop firms are like tightening up. Like that's what I got to tell you guys. When it's in the golden age of props, they made a fortune off of like these affiliate campaigns get people to buy evals. And over the years, people learn how to cheat the system out of tons and tons and tons of money. So the rules have become tighter and tighter and tighter, and verifications tighter, because we got smarter on how to game the system. As time has gone by, we've gotten really good at this as traders. That's what I'm saying, right? So they're making more rules and we're finding more ways to break them, and they're making more rules and we're finding more ways to break them. And it's like firms are going bankrupt because of this. Firms are tightening their rules because, holy crap, I had to pay out millions of dollars last week. So it's leading down to like a tighter, more regulated path. That's all I'm saying. And we got to embrace it because it's going there. I'm not partnered with Apex. There's an affiliate code I have. It's a code I have. But if I was legitimately partnered or getting paid a salary, I'd fully disclose it to you guys. I'm not speaking on behalf of the firm. My purest opinion only. Top Step is just plain weird, somebody said. Yeah. It kind of sucks that you have to, like, you know, you would think that a firm would have the technology to review your trades for you. But, you know, just show them the old rocket scooter one too, and show them you set it up, show them your risk and reward. I would say if I was presented with that as a form to get a payout, I would do my best, just reading between the lines, I would do my best to prove to them that I had a repeatable strategy that I'm using. That way they know I'm not just doing something to beat the system or to cheat the system or whatever. Now, again, I don't know you or your trading. I'm going to take both sides of the argument now. On your side, it's annoying they're going to make you prove your trades. On their side, I'm going to say, how are you cheating the system? What are you doing that flagged you? I never got asked to submit videos or evidence as well. So let's take both sides of the coin. Not saying you're cheating, but are you doing something that could flag as suspicious? Did you hold 80% of your trade down to drawdown and then martingale it back to you know, there's parts of it always missing from that conversation. So like, as a friend, did you do anything that would flag you? So in the future, don't do that, right? So that they don't have to make you do it again. Yeah, like, I don't think you did, Mike. So my thought is, like, what did you possibly do to get flagged? And if it comes down to you're just getting a big fat payout and these guys suck and that's what you're saying, then that's very possible too, right? Yeah. So usually the issue just becomes they want to make sure that, my opinion, I would put it together like a little kit, like a little package. I would mark it up with detail. I would explain your strategies. This is my risk. This is my reward. This is the odds of this trade. I have a system I use. And then just prove that you have a system, and then probably should clear you for good. Can I help you about why a lot of prop firms are restricting your country in the Philippines? You've been watching for quite a while. Appreciate you watching. Why they restrict in the Philippines? I actually don't know a lot of why certain countries are restricted. It could be legality, gambling laws, or things like that. I'm just guessing. I don't know. It's not like an e-business would choose not to work with a certain country and somehow limit their supply, other than the fact there could be some legalities there. I don't know. The answer to that question, go to the firm that doesn't work with the Philippines and ask them why. Maybe they know. Like, for instance, in the US, we can't trade CFDs. So CFD firms don't do business here. So I don't know if there's a legality or something. Maybe there's money laundering laws or something. I don't know. You provided all that to Apex back in May, and 7 months you still haven't reviewed your account? Wait for payout? If that's the case, send your info to me, because anytime you guys have info like that, I'll try to get that expedited. Can we trade CFDs now? Oh, really? Yeah. Any offers from Apex yet? You mean like for me or for you guys? Apex gave us like 60 or something, 60 something, 60 or maybe more. Slack said it changed. Hold on, let me double check. They gave us like 60 accounts to give away. So they just gave us accounts to give to you guys. That's basically it. No, I didn't strike up any kind of partnership arrangement with Apex. Going forward, with the new business focus, since we're making our prop scoring business, the prop scoring website, it's going to serve my best interest for the neutrality of that to not go through with any permanent partnership additions to the mix. Let me explain. I currently have partnerships with some of my props. I'm going to leave it at that and like make it be known. By the way, I have partnerships with these props, so I'm unbiased towards the scoring. Is not biased towards any of the partners. I feel like if I continue to seek partnerships with prop firms, we could be accused of having like a biased presentation. And so I think that in like the sanctity of what I'm trying to do with this site, I don't want to approach further partnership arrangements unless it's very lucrative for us necessary. But I promise you guys, even if I do, i.e. get paid a salary or something from a prop, I swear that it won't be like this firm gets a secret notch added to its score to make it appear better. So again, I might piss off some of my partners if their score comes in lower than, you know, but truth is truth, right? So I'm assuming that the website release is going to be the end of January. So the full currently we're building the administrative side, which just finished this last week, and now we're putting like the final touches and stuff. So about the end of January is when my developer said target for full launch, which is good. So I'll have a workable prototype sometime soon. The 31st, baby, the last day of the year, we do our lifetime giveaway. Prop sales this week. Let me double check really quick. Our little thing here. 35% off Tradeify Select and 30% off of the Growth and Lightning, which we had for a while. Rapid Plan and My Funded Futures is 127, 20% off. That's their 3 days to pay out. 2 days eval, 1 day funded, 3 days to pay out. So now My Funded Futures has the quickest path to pay out. The Rapid, that's 1 day quicker than the funded next one. I don't have ETFs. 90% off statics, 80% off some of the other accounts. ETF ends December 31st. So 90% off the statics, which is the good when the other 90% off. Futures desk, 60% off. End of the day, 70% off static. Take profit, 40% off. It's the same one we had for a while. Apex is back to 90% off evals, which ends on the January the 6th on Tuesday. So that's what's going on with these guys. So a bunch of 90%ers, which is good. This is your Apex 90% off and ETF 90% off is pretty good. And then nothing special from the rest of the firms. No current funded next discount. The $100 off of Legacy ended like, I think the day after Christmas. So nothing going on with funded next yet, and nothing in the pipeline either. Yeah, I wish they would have some other ones, but the wire in prop trading, they go for like 41 no activation. No, I haven't heard of them. We're right now like trying to become acclimated with like all the props in the space a little bit, try to get a little more connection with a lot of different props out there. Learn more, because we're about to like be having like our website's gonna have a lot of props on it, so I got to get to know all of them. Dude, everybody's on holiday right now. But I wish I could tell you guys that, that the prop space as it's been is like gonna stay the same. I wish that's something I could say. Unfortunately, the prop space is gonna start standardizing and... Hold on one second. I'm gonna go restroom real quick. Hey, what's up, y'all? Okay, I'm going to give away time in a little bit. Chat silence save, dude. This is the smallest stream that we've had in a year. This is holiday time. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's enjoying their vacations, family times. Everyone's numbers are low. Everyone's just kind of in in a holiday mode. 2.8 people watching Top Step. That's it. 160 people watching My Funded TV. Jesus. I don't know any of these. A bunch of new traders on here. Looks like 300, 200. Binge Trader 790. Man, these numbers are low. That's everybody across the board. Holidays. There's a lot of people not around anymore for this week. No, it's just the holiday. Like everyone's out. Like all my streamers, I'll have like much smaller numbers than normal. Just seeing if everyone else is kind of having a small stream. You know, holiday is always. Rips had like 500. That's pretty low for him too, right? Rips only has more than that. How far away from the bowl were you? Oh, I had to make a phone call. Or was that Country Nazik song I played the other day? Let's play some song. All right. Time to do giveaways, you guys. We'll have something fun going on here. We have giveaway bonanza on Wednesday, sorry. Let's run some giveaways, y'all. I love doing the giveaways for you guys. We already did a Tradeify this morning. We tossed out 2 of those. Let's go ahead and start off with the first one, as we always do every single day. ETF is our starting point. Type it in, you know the drill. That country song. Oh, where it is. You got a bunch of them on here. Where is it? All right, type ETF in chat. Oh, there's so many of them. Where is it at though? Hold on, was this the one? No, that wasn't it. That was a good one though. Hold on. I don't think that was the one. Is that the one? I don't think that was the one. Where was it? Oh, this one maybe. I think that was the one. Rich Traders. I think this is the one. I think this is the one. But it's more like, yeah, it's more like Texas-y country sound, where it's more just like hillbilly rock. You know, it's like that modern. Making money one tick at a time. Grateful for every click of the mouse. Banking is what I did. Now I'm alive, not stressed. I'm blessed. God's peace in the house. I'm thanking Him as I watch each candle rise. Grace in my charts, hope in my eyes. Zoom, zoom, gliding through the maze of calls and puts in every room. Market makers press, but they can't shake my view. Cause I'm blessed, I'm calm, I know what to do. I'm cool. Zeverin, all right. Congrats, man. Okay, so that's just one account. Stop typing ETF because we're going to clear out the chat and do one more. Pardon me. Congratulations. We've been doing this fast track end of the day ETF account 10K. So Zeverin, congratulations, bud. All right, we got some more to do. Wait. I don't know if this is the one either, but that's the last one I found. Apex, let's go. Apex, type it in, type it in. We got 3 Apex accounts to give away to you guys right now. ETF is having a 90% off sale on their static, which is their best account they got. Apex is 90% off everything else. Straight up.
Every candle writes prophecy, every trend line hums a faith-filled sound. I'm anchored deep when the markets twist, peace like a shield in the morning mist. One more trade, one more gift today. Wisdom whispers when the volume moves. Fear steps back when the charts convey God's steady hand guiding what I choose.
Type Apex in chat, guys.
Market makers press, but they can't shake my view. Cause I'm blessed, I'm calm, I know what to do. I'm cool, I'm steady, I stay in my lane. Trading in peace while the world goes insane. Zoom, zoom, zoom through the storm I break. By the grace of God, I trade what I take. When the market rolls loud, I'm still standing tall. Grace is my anchor, he's Lord over all. Through expansions, contractions, through rallies and falls, I'm covered, I'm guided, I answer his call. No fear in my hands, no doubt in my breath. God writes my story from prophet to rest. Riding the rocket scooter, zoom, zoom, zoom. Through the pressure, through the squeeze, through the clearing room. Storms may rage and the spreads may bloom, but I'm calm, I'm blessed, and I push right through. I'm cool, collected, peace stays mine. Tick by tick in his perfect design. Zoom, 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 I rise and I trade. Held in his grace that will never fade. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Blessed in the market. One tick at a time.
Yeah, guys, I think that the rest of the day, it does have, with the negative res and everything, it does look like down is the new direction. Nesic's just holding really tight on this. All right, first giveaway today. Let me see what I've got on
I'm blessed.
Nvidia, chillin', Apple, Geo, Amazon. Okay. It feels like everything's heavy, and it feels like everything wants to sell, but nothing's moving super fast. But again, we're in liquidity pocket here, and I have no, while resilience is further deteriorating, I have no woo outside. Type something in chat. Zoom, zoom, zoom. All right, here's another one. Hold on.
No more chasing every heartbeat.
Boot Camp U. Hold on. It's just another one. Was that the country song?
One clean lesson at a time. No hype.
So I got out of my trade last night, like somewhere over here, on the bigger trade. I can wonder if I can do something else here. Shorting a DD band might be it.
Math teachers from the ground up. The baseline every trader needs. From finding your
What's up, Woo? Excellent, excellent, friend. Congrats. Man, I had like, I was starting to feel fatigued earlier in December. Those 2 weeks, dude. I mean, God, man. You know, you take, somebody said, can I go over some rules with Apex? Yeah, sure, give me a second. What kind of questions do you have? Like, their plans have really never changed. They've been the same forever. I might start trading some Apex again. I need to do TPT. As soon as I go live with Fun and Next, I'm gonna immediately switch to like TPT and Apex, and just because I haven't done those on stream ever. Hassan. So their rules is a trailing drawdown until you get to a buffer. So like the hardest part of Apex is getting over the trailing drawdown limitations and getting the buffer. Other than that, they have do they have like a total they have like a total drawdown, I think, that you can't have either. Now again, it's been like almost a year since I've traded Apex. You guys need to tell me, maybe chat, because what I want to do is get more familiar with it to see what's changed since then. And can I get you unbanned on Apex? You made too much money? LOL. Rules on max loss per trade based on your profit. 30% in one trade PA accounts. Okay. So you can't be 30% of the balance. Oh yeah, the consistency on that. Yeah. It's still the same? Okay.
Turns hesitation into vision and confusion.
Gary Ingles, next winner.
Boot Camp University, where traders rise up.
Do I want to trade this, or am I over trading further? I was really hoping to get like a big ass sell off today. But I think this morning's price action is really solidifying the 680 level as really strong support. Maybe at the new year I'll start trading some TPT and Apex, because I feel like I'm a moment away from going live with Funded Next. They hinted like a couple weeks ago, hey, we're gonna make you an offer for live. I was like, okay, cool. But holidays and stuff, I haven't heard anything, and I'm thinking like I try to take just as much payout to not trigger it, or try not to. But I think because it triggered it, it just hasn't happened yet. So I don't know what's the delay on it. But they also didn't send me the official email that's like, you're gonna go live. It was dropped to me by my contact over there. It was like, hey, the risk team is thinking about putting you to live and they're gonna make you a pretty big offer, yada yada. And I was like, cool. And they're like, I'll let you know when I have more details. I haven't heard anything since. All I got was that one communication that somebody heard sort of thing. So pretty cool. All right, my friends, winners, very cool. All right, and I'll be just a little bit hold on, wait, that was, oh, we didn't do, wait, I cleared out the list. Wait, somebody didn't claim Hassan and Wu, but the third person didn't say anything. Whoops. Oh my god. All right, yeah, I'll do one more time. All right, this is gonna be good. You haven't won yet. Type it in really quick. So there might only be like 50 people in the entry. Count to 20 and I'm going to click the button. So now's the highest probability anybody's going to have to win. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Oops, my bad. I'm having an off day today. Mentally. It's all the tequila. I'm not gonna lie. And we're gonna do one more after this. My Fun and Futures. Ooh. Spyro 2373.
Now I dance through the levels with a smooth new stride. Confidence rising like a Saturday night. HP light shining like a runway light. Every map clear, every move so clean. Scooter got me feeling like a fucking trading machine. No more guessing, no more fear. Scooter got the groove we needed here. Turn it up, let the signals fly.
On this negative res in the pocket, man, I kind of want to throw some risk in one of these Fun and X accounts. Like, but I just have a feeling like we're gonna get this kind of like green FU candle that I can short from, rather than just gonna fall and fall down. Blue Hassan and Spyro, congratulations. Y'all are now Apex account any size. Congrats. I have one My Fun and Futures left to give out today. That's our final one. We'll do one today. All right, switching it up. MFF, sorry, MFF. Type that in chat. No you, sorry, my bad. No you. Dude, man, that ES chart, looking at this, man, all logic tells me is, holy shit, that's a little top heavy. We're gonna flush. Doesn't it tell you we're gonna flush? It doesn't spell out flush to you. I don't know what does. You know what I'm saying? But you never know how this freaking market works. Like when you just look at this hourly chart, don't you just feel like, all right, lower lows every hour? This market's toast today. Last one. So no afternoon stream today after My Fun and Futures. I got a dentist appointment. Yay. So I'll be taking the afternoon off, probably closer to like, I might come back here for an hour or so, but I'm gonna take the afternoon off. Go to the dentist. And now it's like looking like it's ready to die. Hi. Do I want to jump in on this on the pocket break? Why do I feel like the minute I push the short button, I'm going to die? We're not close to lower DD band yet. That low consolidation all morning is like telling me, I feel like by the end of the day, even now, I feel like we might get something like this to finish out the rest of the year. Like maybe I just don't want to take, in liquidity pocket with good D ratio. Metamorph, type something. I don't usually short inside of here. So I'm going to refrain from pushing the button. S&P's got some decent amount of room to fall. There's that red line. We've been at that one for all morning. Rec 100. Hit that. Type that in chat, baby. Work less, earn more. She's saying, having a buy bias has been killing you lately. This end of the year dynamic has been the weirdest. This has been the weirdest end of the year dynamic I've ever seen. This December has been weird. It kicked my ass for a little bit too. It's been one of those like just low volume, weird mechanics after the March thing, and then now the market rallied up, and now the government shut down. Like all of it has just led to like a dead December, where structure is just weak. The market's just flip-flopping quickly with no volatility, which is also weird because it just means that people are just being very picky about what they are and aren't getting rid of. Wait a minute. Oh, I have a bunch of fun and next giveaways too. I'll do that sometime soon. All right, cool. You now have a 50K core account, Rec. All right, winners. Here's how you do this. Winners, go to my Discord. Go to the contest channel in Discord. Link is in the description below the video. Find an admin named Slacks. Send him a screenshot of your YouTube ID and let him know the ID of these accounts that you have with these prop firms, like the email you sign up with. Apex, ETF, MyFunded. So let him know that. Slacks will hook you up with the account. Meta was picked up. Wait. Meta was picked up. What do you mean? Meta was picked up where? What? Huh? What? Simon, what? What? Meta was picked up the winner. What? Hold on. Oh, Meta was. Oh, Metamorph. Oh. Yeah, but Meta typed after the did he type after or before we respawn? Was it before? Okay. All right, I got you. All right, I got you. I didn't see. Bottrick sucks sometimes. All right, I got you. All right, well, you don't get my funded. You're gonna get funded next. I don't got it. I already gave out all my fundeds this year. All right, you know the drill. I know you know the drill. When Simon was saying meta, I thought he meant meta, the stock. I'm like, I'm opening the meta chart. I'm like, wait, what the heck happened? All right, so you get funded next because I got plenty of those to give away, but I'm out of my fundeds. I can always ask for some more, but whoops. Okay. All right, one more funded next. Let's talk about our partners. So all these giveaways sponsored by our partners. They donate these accounts to give away, which is kind of nice. MyFunded Futures is their 20% off their rapid accounts. Currently the fastest path to payout. Really awesome. MyFunded Futures really sort of like leading the charge here with all these new plans. Really cool. Last but not least, FundedX today. No current discount or deal going on with those guys, but FundedX recently has some changes to their live program. They created a SIM reserve, a SIM bank similar to ETF. So once you go to your payout, after pressing them, right, when they came out with the live program, this is basically what they did. They came out with the live program and kind of just didn't understand the dynamic of how live programs work in the US. They were like, live is the prestigious thing everybody wants, and you know, when we push people to live, they're gonna love it. And well, you made all this money, improved yourself in sim payouts. Okay, we'll move you to live and give you some payout, but then, you know, forfeit the rest and give you a certain live balance. And I was like, no, you can't do that. And they were almost like, what do you mean you can't do that? It wasn't like they were like, we're gonna screw over traders. They were more like, I would explain personal experience. My conversation with them is almost naive to the space. Like they're like almost like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, although you think traders believe the live program is a prestigious thing, let me tell you what it's really like. They really don't. Traders love their sim-funded payouts. And every bit of it they earn, they will feel robbed if you take it from them. And their response was like, huh? Really? Yes, really. They're fucking hating you right now online because of that. They're like, but maybe it's just a few people. I'm like, no, I was like, you can't do this. And Brian was yelling at them too. And it was more just like, they didn't get it. They thought everyone's going to want to go live. And I'm like, people are just going to want every dollar they think they've made, even if it's sim. They're like, yeah, but it's sim and it's sim payout. And you know, it's all the firms don't guarantee all. And I'm like, I know, but in the US, you got to have a live program that's discreet. It's explicitly stated what you get, what you don't get, and the rules need to be there. And if you have any kind of subjective forfeit, whatever, you won't survive. People will hate you for it. And they were kind of like, huh. Yeah, we're kind of getting some hate right now. It's like, because that's the thing people hate. Now, I was like, I swear I told them this when they were making their live program. I was like, make sure you do it exactly. So then they were like, okay, they went back to the drawing board, and FundX came back completely like, you guys were right. And Brian and myself and Kane and some people were really pushing them. We're like, you guys got to honor payouts. You can't just push somebody to live and they're going to be jumping for joy. You gave them a smaller live account. I mean, so they're like, okay. So they're like, this is kind of, you're like, you guys are right. And we're going to do it this way. And so they honored everybody's payout, which is cool. They also decided that the live program is going to be a set amount, that once you get to your certain set amount of payout, and you get paid out and go live, whatever's left over goes into a bank that replenishes your live account when you fuck it up. Because you're gonna fuck it up. Let's just be real. You're a bunch of fucking degenerate gamblers. You're gonna lose it all at some point, probably. So you got your reserve to keep funding your live account pursuits, which I think is fantastic. I thought it was fantastic when ETF had that too. And it's a culture shock because people are like, well, I want my sim payout and I want it now. But I'm trying to tell you guys, in the silver era of prop firms, it's going to be different. Firms are going to lean towards this live program and sim bank, and that's going to be the thing that they all do. They're all going to start leaning into that, capping your payouts. They all almost already do. My Funded Futures, capped at 100. Tradeify, capped at 100. Funded X, capped at 100. See the trend that's happening? It's kind of becoming the standard. You're going to get a fixed amount of payout, and you're going to get a certain size sim account. Live account, and that's it. Kind of becoming the standard. I told you, the silver era is about standardization of prop firms, and they're all going to let you take out about 100K of sim payouts. That's the big change. The $1 million era payouts of prop firms is coming to an end. And FundedX and Apex are probably the last couple firms you could have done that with. Maybe Take Profit as well. Maybe those two will still be doing it, but long story short, they were very, very eager to tell me the information about the new setup here. I think the new setup's great. Their offerings are very similar to My Funded Futures now. 100K cap, and the Rapids people still love, which is good. I'm the problem. I tell them props install those max limits. I think what happened is after enough people were getting huge payouts, the props are kind of like being like, okay. And like margins are thinner and competition's tougher and everybody's like one Jade cap away from bankruptcy. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah. Any firm that breaks the mold and doesn't follow the rest will become the biggest. I think so, yeah. All right, spinning it one more time. But anyways, FundedX has sort of like repaired itself in the eyes of the public. They admitted their mistake, and they were really honest about it. Because when I was talking to them, I was very like, if people were, you know, these like social media trolls, that these fucking idiots out there were like, look at all these FundedX sympathizers, blah, blah, blah. They're like stealing from trade. And I'm like, what's these idiots out there wish they could be us? Seriously, like we're in the middle of trying to work with FundedX and fix the problem. And you got all your leeches out there yelling and screaming about them. I'm canceling my code. I'm never using them again. You're fucking nobody anyways. Like we fixed the problem by yelling at them. You guys yell at them enough, they fix the problem. I was like, trust us to get some, you know, we're having a conversation with them. And they were like, not like, nah, it's okay, screw traders. They were kind of like, you can't do this? And we're like, They're like, yeah, it doesn't seem like people are happy with it. And I'm like, they're not. And they were like, yeah, to be honest, we didn't really think it through that much. I can tell. But that's cool because they admitted their mistake and they were like, you know what, we're going to design a better program people will like. And we were trying to be very helpful. Because remember, a long time ago, they were like what do you think is good for a live program? And they just asked me casually. Alexi, congrats, man. And I gave my opinions on what I thought a good live program would be like. And then they made a live program that was nothing like it. And you get, again, like your Twitter influencer losers were like, didn't you design this live program? Like, they take everything I say out of context. What is this rap? Find an X for you, bud. All right, that's it. Oh, wait, one more. I'll do one more, why not? I was like, no, I didn't design their live program. They just asked the more prominent, popular people what they think and what the communities are like because we're big. Like you act like I'm the CEO of the company designing these plans. Did you screw over traders with this live program? How much money did you pocket when these traders got? I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? They asked me what a live program was like, and I was like, yeah, a live program has contract limits and DLLs, and typically it's a certain balance, and you know, and it's well stated what it is. Like, just give them the standard format of how a live program would be. Like, you out there designing plans for them. It's your first time winning, Matt? Metalworth? Awesome, dude. I'm telling you, man. These toxic people on social media serve no purpose. We're the ones doing the work. We're the ones making the money. We're the ones making the changes. So I'm glad they changed it. All the influencers went out there and nuked their own codes. Never working with them again. Who are those people anyways? And then now everyone loves Fun and X again. Because the program's actually pretty good. OT Manseo, last winner. Congrats. All right, that's it. No more. I got to go to my Fun to TV in a little bit. Congrats. All right. You guys know the drill on how to claim your prize. Go to Discord, talk to Slacks. Congrats, friends. This was a mini bonanza, if you may. A mini bonanza. We got a big one coming up on Wednesday. Wednesday will be the biggest giveaway we do every month. Last day of the month, we're giving away a lifetime membership. Use Rocket Scooter code and spend up to $1,000 with our code with the partner props. You enter into a drawing for lifetime. We gave away 3 last month, so we'll probably give away a couple this month as well. Depends on how many people enter. So every month, so if you use our code, well, you can win free lifetime Rocket Scooter. W's for the guys that won. Yes, yes, yes. Great song. Dude, I love the Rogue of the Lamb songs, man. They're so good. It's like my style of music. Just like... just like that hard, that like 2008 hard rock, Breaking Benjamin sound, Evans Blue sound. Love it. Good stuff. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's kind of a light sesh because of the holidays. People are on vacation, just taking it easy. Music is louder than me. Yeah, I've kind of felt that way too. How's the market today? Selling off a little bit. This is kind of what I thought would happen into the end of the year, that we would just sort of like trickle lower. All right, I gotta run, but we'll be live on MyFunNet TV in about 5 minutes, as usual. Feel free to go on over there and give your support. The mods are throwing it over. Slacks is posting that in chat. Kevin, thank you guys. I love y'all. Thank you so much. Do our hour with MyFunNet TV as usual. I might come back for a little bit, but I got a dentist appointment, so after that, we'll probably just chill on the rest of the stream. But my call for the rest of the day is the market's still going to trade off, and my call for the rest of the year is that the market's still going to trade off a little bit lower. I don't think we're going to rally today, tomorrow, or until at least after the first week of the year. Once everybody gets seated back in their, you know, probably the Monday following the last week, the first week of the year, probably. But news driven, right? The market's going to move on news, new year. And that's really what's going to happen. All right, we'll see y'all later, and have a good day. Or the best.
Hi, my name is Dave, and I caught the dip again. I thought it was the low. It was just another wick. Saw it on the 5-minute, heart skipped a beat. Formed a little hammer, looked kinda neat. No confirmation, no real bias, but I hit long. Now I'm red in the face. Some it was thin, tape was slow, but something inside said, bro, just go. 20 handles later, it dumped on me. Should have waited for the MHP. Welcome to Knife Catchers Anonymous. We buy the blood and pray it's bottomish. You win, I'm in, you sure. Too late. Account liquidated. FOMO strong, my hands are weak. Been wrecked all month now, twice this week. So gather round and sing this song. Knife catching feels so right until it's wrong.
What do I think about NQ, Bulls on bottom, and ES reclaim? I think we slowly climb for here for the rest of the day. But my thought is that we're gonna pop a little higher and then sell off at the end of the day. I don't know how much upper momentum still is here. I was too busy on my funded TV yapping. I longed this pocket, by the way. So one of my accounts made another $4,000. My funded next, I longed it with 10 and just closed out a second ago. I was yip yapping. So that put that one, I think it was at 3,000 or maybe 4,000, another 4 there. Bad. What's up? What's up? So I still haven't touched one of my funded next accounts. I've only been trading these 3. I should probably tap that one. But
I'm Dave.
That's 18.
And I caught
46. Oh wow, so it must be 50K today. That's better. That's better than losing 80K in a day. Good lord, that's pretty tough. Pretty tough week. But we back. So we're good. I don't know how much of this funded next I'll be able to take home, because the minute I know, the moment I request, because they can move you to live early, and I know the moment I request a payout, I'm gonna get a fraction of it and we kick the live. So we'll see. What's up? What's up, guys? I'm gonna smash the like button. We'll hang out for a little bit. I gotta go to the dentist, so I'll stay here till 1 o'clock. That I gotta go. Does the ETF static account have a consistency role? They have the active trading day role, which is their own version of a consistency role. I would look it up. It's a little different, so you got to kind of like read up on it, but it's good. I think it's a better consistency role than the traditional ones, but someone argued that they don't like it as much. Nobody likes consistency, let's be honest. But I haven't traded their static since they've made it. I'm live with them. So I don't know. Somebody remember how to answer the question. I'm gonna log in here. Pretty soon, when I have my website done, I'll be able to answer those questions for you pretty easy. All that information programmed in there. They should be able to move you if payments already requested. Well, they have like a, let me explain how that works. They have a way of doing it where you get a fixed amount. It's still in that transition phase of like they're rolling it out. So I feel like I'm slipping through the cracks until I request a payout. That's what I feel like. I should, with the amount of money I've taken from them, which was a lot, most of it was retroactive, but some of it was after the change, but it was in that kind of muddy time where they're like, yes, we have a live program. Okay, we're gonna redo it and start over. I think that big payout I took from them fell through the cracks and it didn't qualify me like it should have. And I think that they pulled back. And so I think the next payout will qualify me. They gave me they sent me a message like, hey, you know, they're going to give you this, we're just going to kick you to a live account. I was like, oh, that's great. That's cool. And I requested another payout of like 60 grand just to like, okay, let me just see if this comes through. And then I took another 60 out. They even tweeted about it, that payout. And then, still no live yet. And I was like, I want to say something, but I also don't want to say something. But I'm pretty sure that the reason was because when, I'm just guessing that they have like a cutoff where they're like, okay, everybody from this point forward, we're gonna start considering for moving to live after 100K of payouts or whatever. By the way, FundedX on January 1st has a change that's coming out that all accounts now, instead of having a balance limit, which like, remember you can buy up to 300,000 worth of funded and 700,000 worth of eval. And so you can get like 3 100Ks, you can get 650Ks or 1225s. It's all going away. And instead it's 5 accounts maximum. So it's fewer 25 and 50Ks you can buy, but it's more 100Ks you can buy, just FYI. So January 1st, I think, is when that changes. Rips is trading 100 contracts on NASDAQ nowadays. With 100K for me, with buffer on the side, or with reserve on the side, I'm trading between 20 and 30 contracts. That's my normal trade these days, which puts me, you know, like, remember, every 40 points is $800 per contract. So on 20 is $16,000 of loss, 16% every 40 points. So if I'm trading 20 contracts, I'm going to lose 16% of the 100K, which is fine. It gives me 6 trades to blow up. If I want to hit it hard, I'm hitting it with 30. They should have to push that payout retroactive. Yeah, I don't know. Is it kind of like my funded? Yeah, their payout, their new live program, since they've refashioned it, is a lot more like my funded's pro account. So if Rips is trading 100 contracts, I don't know what he's leveraging up. I think he had like, on his stream, I think he was close to like $2 million at some point. I think he just withdrew it. But at $2 million, 100 is completely feasible. Like at the same rate I'm doing, if you just scaled me doing 20 contracts at 100, that would be the same scaling would be what? On 2 million, 400 contracts. So 100 contracts on 2 million is actually pretty light. It's still over leveraging a little bit. I would say that with a $30-something thousand NASDAQ, I think NASDAQ margin requirement is 30,000. So 2 million by 30,000 is roughly caps out about 60 would be what I consider not over leveraged. If the margin requirement is 30,000 for 2 million. So he's trading like 1.5x what I would consider like a healthy maximum. So he's slightly accelerated, but that's not out of balance at all. 100 is a lot less than the ratio I'm doing, which is 20 contracts per 100K. My scale, that would be close to 400, and that's, I'm over leveraging this account. I wouldn't over leverage that account. If with $2 million on the line, I wouldn't be trading 400 contracts. That's for damn sure. 100 though, that's very palatable. Accelerated, not over the top, slightly over the risk limit from the equation I teach you guys, but not much over. Almost 50% over. So you're talking every 40 points on 100 contracts, right, is 16 times 5, $80,000 every 40 points on 2 million. It's 4% loss, right? Not that big of a deal. So 100 contracts puts you at about 4% loss in 2 million every 40 points. So that's not bad, right? For that scale. Like I said, it's slightly accelerated because 3% is normally what my target is. You know, we teach you that in class 2 at the boot camp. 4%, not that much bigger. So he's managing it very well if that's his choice, you know. Am I up 30K now? Oh yeah, 28.9, and then the Fund and Next accounts are up like maybe, what's that? Another 18,000. So 46 today. Better than early December. I got my ass handed to me. Well, that's all right. I had definitely taken some major risk plays, and I two MHP taps failed in a row back to back, which was crazy. And then I had that one day where MHP, Pocket, D-Band all broke consecutively as well. 90%ers fail within like a week span, and each one of those I hit hard and didn't work. That was the big one. Yeah. Do all the trading streamers have like their own little convention once a year that you get together and talk trash on each other for friendship bantering? I think like when there's get-togethers, I've been to a couple of them. I'm going to the Max's one in January. Nobody really gets together and talks shit about each other. Everyone gets together and then like lays down their arms and sort of is like super friendly all the time. Once you meet someone in person, it's really hard to be toxic to them once you realize they're a real person, you know? So I feel like most people, when you meet them, they're just quiet, humble people, and they just put on a show online. Like WWE, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, well, I'm pretty much friends with most of the trading community, so when I meet up with them, I'd just be that quiet guy on the side. Try to meet up with Lance. Yeah. Sir, you can't bring your son in here. This isn't my son. He's older than me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That's a Lance's tiny joke. Even Matt from Austin. Yeah, I went to Tracer Matt's first meetup that he had in Austin. I don't know how, maybe like 5 years ago. His very first one he ever did was in Austin, and we went and rode Formula One go-karts, like the fast go-karts. And then we all went and barbecued and swam in Lake Travis a little bit. He has a NASCAR or a Formula One helmet in his office. I don't know if you can still see it on his stream, but you could see it in the background on his stream, and everybody signed it. So like my signature was on it because I was at that event. Then he had a golf thing in Vegas, which I was gonna go, but I had a conflict, so I couldn't go. But yeah, Matt from Austin has his own office. Yeah, I saw it. Like, I think maybe I went to Dallas at some point. I mean, to Austin, maybe earlier this year. I want to say April, somewhere in there. I went to Austin with iDoc, and I took a day off and went and hung out with Matt, and then went over and he showed me his office, and I toured it and took a look at all the stuff he's building. It's pretty cool. His office is pretty damn cool. It's got this like huge custom poker table in it. This like commercial sized commercial kitchen sort of thing with like this really nice coffee maker. Like, it was pretty cool. But yeah, it's nice, dude. All right. Anyways, guys, I gotta get ready to run out of here. I gotta go to the dentist. Let me tell you what I think is gonna happen. I don't think we're going to crash from here. I don't think we're going to rally from here. I think the market's probably still going to try to fight Still trying to fight. And MOC might do something like this. And even if it closes here, overnight, I still think we're sort of like trading down, which is why I have a trend line drawn on there. It just feels like it with everything pulling back. Probably so. I'm not going to chase these small pops like I want to short it to lows, but I still think it's coming down off of these, you know, half gap. Resilience is rushing towards 0. That's why I'm being a little cautious here. Trying to short this. Keep an eye on this. Resilience goes greater than 0. This is going to make a mad dash or half gap. So that's what I'm looking for today. Sort of being the end of this. Would I want to long it here for that potential? I still don't want to long it from here for that potential because resilience is actually still negative, but it's looking like it's going positive. So instead, what I want to wait is for lower highs to short from and just finish out the week. So I love you guys. I'm out of here. I got to go to the dentist. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bright and early.